He's taking and stealing one of his person's out. Stop drinking.
All right, let's roll. You ready? You guys good? All right, thanks for a loaded house, and it's good to see all the police officers. Thank you, and welcome to the Cloverdale City Council meeting. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, it's over here now, guys.
Where?
On the wrong side of the room. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Okay, do a roll call. I see all council members are present. Any report out on closed session?
No reportable action.
Any conflict of interest declarations from council? Seeing none. Right, agenda review, changes or deletions?
Yes, Mayor, item G1 needs to be heard around 7 o'clock as best we can. And so when we're getting close, we can either take a break leading into that time, or we can finish up whatever item. If we're still at an item at 7 o'clock, we have to finish that up and proceed to that item.
Perfect, thank you. All right, let's move right into B. B1, introduction and oath of office for Police Chief Sean Jones, presenter, City Manager Kevin Thompson.
Thanks, everybody. I'm really happy to introduce our new police chief, Sean Jones. I want to talk a little bit about him, and then I will give him the oath of office, and then we can take pictures. So thank you. Sean was born in Marin County, where he started his lifelong passion for law enforcement. He began his career as a police explorer with the Novato Police Department, served as a cadet with the Santa Rosa Junior College Police Department, and he graduated from the Santa Rosa College Police Academy in 2004. He started his law enforcement career with UC San Francisco, and then he moved to the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department, where he was worked for 20 years. Some of his positions he's held at the Sonoma County at the Sheriff's Office included canine handler, which is really cool, detective, patrol sergeant, internal affairs investigator, special ops commander, professional standards unit manager, and he brings extensive experience in patrol officers, criminal investigation, leadership and supervision and training. He's got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He's married with 2 kids and lives in Windsor. And I just want to say, I'll go off script a little bit here. Sean's been coming up for probably 2 weeks now, working with Chief Parker, getting to know everybody on his dime, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate you coming up here and just really absorbing all the knowledge you can and getting to know everybody the best you can, even before you started. So I appreciate that, Sean, and thank you very much. You can say something, I'll come. Oh, good. Thank you. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Sean Jones, do solemnly affirm.
I, Sean Jones, do solemnly affirm
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Bear true faith and allegiance. That I will bear true faith and allegiance
To the Constitution of the United States,
to the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I will and well and faithfully discharge
The duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. We got a couple minutes?
We
You don't
do.
mind? Thank you all for being here today. It is truly an honor and privilege to accept the responsibility of serving as your Chief of Police. I want to begin by thanking Chief Parker, wherever you are, for all your years of dedicated service and leadership. Your commitment to this department and to the Cloverdale community has left a lasting impact. You have led with professionalism, integrity, and genuine care for both the people who serve here and the community we are sworn to protect. You leave this department stronger than you found it, and I appreciate not only the example you've set, but also the guidance and support you've given me. Thank you for your service and for helping prepare this department for its next chapter. Thank you to our mayor, vice mayor, city council, city manager, and city leadership for the confidence you've placed in me. I am grateful for our trust, and I look forward to working together in service to our community. To the men and women of our police department, it's an honor to serve alongside you. Your professionalism, courage, and dedication inspire me, and I'm committed to supporting you and leading with integrity and accountability. To my family, thank you for your love and encouragement. And sacrifice throughout my career. Your unwavering support has made this moment possible, and I share this honor with you. I also want to recognize everyone who came out to support me today. Looking out and seeing so many friends, coworkers, current and former colleagues, and members of our extended law enforcement family means more to me than I can express. I've been incredibly fortunate to work alongside people who have challenged me, mentored me, and encouraged me throughout my career. Your friendship, guidance, and belief in me have helped shape the leader I am today, and I am deeply grateful that you're here to share this moment. Cloverdale is a special place. It is a community where people know their neighbors. They look out for one another and take pride in their hometown. I've had the privilege of getting to know so many members of this community, and those relationships have only strengthened my commitment to serving the people of Cloverdale. It is an honor to lead a department in a city that values trust, connection, and partnership. As chief, my commitment is simple: to lead with integrity, to support the dedicated men and women of the department, and to work every day to earn and maintain the trust of our community. Public safety is strongest when we work together with respect, transparency, and a shared commitment to making Cloverdale a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. I am humbled by this opportunity and excited for what lies ahead. Together, we will continue building on the strong foundation that has already been established, embrace new opportunities, and meet future challenges with professionalism and purpose. Thank you for your trust, your confidence, and your support. It is the honor of a lifetime to serve as your Chief of Police. And I look forward to seeing you on August 4th at National Night Out.
Any comments from council?
Congratulations, Chief Jones. Welcome to Cloverdale. You're going to have a great time meeting the rest of the staff here and all the community. Yep, welcome.
I wanted to say welcome to Cloverdale. I'm sure this will be the perfect city for you. And the other day when I met you, I had no idea you were the new police chief. So but now I do. And congratulations. And I look forward to working with you.
Congratulations, Chief. We look forward to years of service ahead. And I see that your son has a green shirt. So, Chief Parker, there's your new Grinch right there. Congratulations and welcome.
I don't know who wanted this more, me or Sean. When Chief Parker said that he was going to retire, he gave us a very long notice, and I only had one person in mind. And it took some poking and prodding, and it took a lot of trust and risk from his family and his wife to know that they're going to leave something that's very comfortable and easy, closer to home, pays more money, and it's probably a lot safer because he can sit at a desk where he was at versus having to actually take part in law enforcement in Cloverdale. The chief doesn't just sit at a desk, the chief does everything here. This room of people is a testament to you. You have everybody from people from the jail all the way through chiefs through Novato, Sonoma County, people that have been chiefs in Windsor. You have every single person in this room, is a hero to a lot of people, and they're here for you. That's a huge testament, and I am so proud to call you a friend and our police chief. The hardworking leadership, the trust, the integrity that you've done over the last 20 years shows why they're here. I've worked with you in many different ways, whether it was SWAT school. We were partners in SWAT school. We were partners on the SWAT team. We have laid in bushes and on ground and up in hills and in the dark. And we've gone on calls all over the place. We've been in the mud and the blood. And you are somebody that I trust with my life. And now you're somebody that I trust with my community. And I really look forward to this. So thank you for taking part in this. Thank you for taking the risk with us and being a part of our community, to your entire family. And know that Cloverdale is very unique. It is a very tight-knit community, very tight-knit family here. And so you have to be part of it or you won't be. And from what we've seen over the past few months, you are going to fit well, and I'm excited about it. So congratulations and welcome.
Chief Jones, welcome. I think these guys pretty much nailed it. I don't have the experience with you as the vice mayor does, but all I can say, it's been a pleasure meeting you day one, going through the process with you and continuing to talk to you. It's been a pleasure, and I see it as an outstanding fit. I'm glad you're here, and I think Cloverdale's glad you're here, so welcome. I look forward to working with you, seeing you at all the events, and just having a good time, because Cloverdale is a great place, and I think you got it under control. So it's also a testament, like the vice mayor said, when this many people show up, that says a lot about you, and we're glad to have you. So congratulations. Welcome. All right, folks, we're going to take a 5-minute recess so we can have all of the police officers and sheriffs and everybody get pictures with new Chief Jones also. 5 minutes. All right, we will call the meeting back to order at 6:24 PM. And we will move into item B2, service recognition for retiring Police Chief Chris Parker. Presenter, City Manager Thompson.
Come down, Parker.
Come on, Chief.
So I just got a little something I prepared I'd like to say, and thanks for bearing with me here. So Chris was first hired by Cloverdale PD in 2015 as a patrol officer, and he quickly moved up to sergeant. So I don't know, you moved up pretty?
That was a month.
Well, you were a patrol officer for 2 months. I don't know how that happened, but nice work. And then he moved up to lieutenant.
I do.
Moved up to lieutenant in 2019 and finally chief in 2023. I've worked with a lot of chiefs because I've worked for cities for 25 years, and you're one of the best, seriously.
Thank you.
His dedication to the community is amazing. I mean, he if you want to do a party, he's your man. National Night Out, Winterfest, Halloween, Employee Appreciation. He's integral in all of those things, and I really appreciate that. Just a little story. The 4th of July was great this year. So much fun. The splash zone. They went through it. They got soaked. Then they came around. They came back around. Chief Parker, Detective Vanoni, excuse me, Sergeant Camara, Chris's son, Devin, they all came back around with their raincoats on and let the kids just blast them again. It was so much fun. It was really great. Not to mention the rib off. We got to mention that. We know that you're the champion.
I'm the champion, just so you know.
Champion rib guy.
See?
Also, he's not afraid to wear the costumes. I mean, you should have seen him on Halloween. It was a pretty warm day, and he had, I don't know the Star Wars stuff, so I apologize for that, Chief.
It was Bane from Batman, by the way.
Yeah, it was big and hot, and he wore it for hours, and I appreciate that. He wears the Grinch. At Winterfest, he goes out to the community as the Grinch. Really appreciate that. I'm sure everyone knows he's been a football coach for 10 years.
Yeah,
Which is
we just
great.
started practice Monday.
Yeah, the Chargers youth football team, which is really, really great. And just a personal note, I just really enjoy when he comes in my office. It's a great sounding board. He listens to me. Enjoy the conversations. He's a super grounded person with a great perspective. And he's really helped me out. I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you too.
That's it.
You want me to talk? It's hard for me. It's hard. I didn't plan a speech because I wanted to be quick because I knew I wasn't going to get through it. So, but my wife and my kids, they mean the world to me. Almost 30 years doing this job. Touch and go there a few times. I don't tell my wife that, but the men and women I work with, just really great people. We put a great team together. You could see all the folks that were here. I purposely didn't tell them that I was getting recognized today because they just found out just a minute ago. So it's hard for me. It's really hard for me. I really enjoyed working with all of you. I've enjoyed beating you at the rib off. It'll happen again this year. Working with the staff, I have to mention Hector. He's going after me. He's getting his recognition after me, which is good. I like messing with Hector, and we have these competitions and who's recognized for what. And I always say, well, we know you cut trees. Please stop putting trees. You cut these trees in the newsletter. And then we have, we're solving murders and crimes, and next to his trees, it's like, what are we doing? But no, I try and have fun at work, no matter who I'm with. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And then this business, you can be here one day and gone the next. We are targeted, whether we like it or not. This is the day and age we live in. And I always tell them, you can walk out that door and you won't come home. I'm glad I made it. I tell my wife every time we leave, I love you, because that might be the last word she hears from me. It's just been a great experience coming here. I really enjoyed working with all of you. The staff has been just outstanding. They're really helpful. And Chief Jones, really a really good guy. He's been looking to come here for a while. We've been talking for a few years. And he was finally ready to pull that trigger. He's really good, really a great catch for Cloverdale. I'm kind of, teaching him, what Cloverdale's all about. Walking down the street, people saying hi. People know you. Not only because I'm live here, because I'm the police chief, and I always get out there and meet the community. Last year we did the Grinch, 50,000 views on Facebook, by the way. That was for you, Hector. No, I did not boost it. But we are going to bring that back this year. It'll be a good time. And I just want to say I'm grateful, for this community, for the council, for the staff. Just really good people here. Thank you. Does that have money in it?
Chief, you ready for some comments from the council?
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
Chief Parker, thank you for welcoming my wife and I to Cloverdale. You're one of the first people that we knew here and really inspired us to get active in the community, seeing you around at all the events, and just really appreciate your dedication to this town. Thank you.
I want to thank you for having such a big heart. You're the only person I know that would come from Santa Rosa on your day off to come help a homeless person. So, people look at people and judge them in different ways. I judge them by where their heart's at, and you have a big, huge heart. So thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, I've only known you 2 years. I've never met you before in my rearview mirror, so I'm thankful for that. You're an honorable and humble man. You're just a great asset to this community over the years, and there's not much more that can be said. Appreciate your service and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
They don't make many like you. You like Star Wars and all the sci-fi movies and things, and they talk about superhuman. But if you change the way it's said, it's about being a superhuman, and that's you. You have been a special person from Cotati to here as an officer, a sergeant, and now a chief. And you're just such an asset to this community. Normally when you see chiefs at places, they're the high and mighty. They sit in the corner. They wear their stuff high and tight. You are part of the community. You're the ones that's setting up the splash zone at the parades, or dressing up, or cooking the ribs and beating the mayor, doing whatever you're going to do. It's wonderful, and it shows the sense of community. It shows the things that you love, your job, your family, and Cloverdale. Those are the things that I've always seen that you love the most, and that's what I've admired about you, is the way that you're just so humble and so grounded, and you're still able to do this job at an extremely high caliber, and just thankless at all times. You always looked out for your staff. You always looked out for the community, and we can't thank you enough for all the time you put in, and also finding somebody to help keep us safe. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chief.
You have a chance to take a shot at me this year.
Oh, I'm going to, yeah. So now you
can
got a little
try.
bit of extra time. Obviously, I can teach you how to cook. You got lucky last year, that's all I'm going to say. But anyway, all that aside, you are just a stand-up dude, just a great guy. And I think the community recognizes that. As a matter of fact, they know they do, all the way from being a mentor, from coaching football for 10 years, to taking your off time to help people in Cloverdale and just be Cloverdale. That's what people come to Cloverdale for. So, I mean, I can butter you up all night long, but you know what? Thank you, Chief. You did a great job, and thank you for helping get Chief Jones up here, and I think it's going to be a smooth transition. And I look forward to hanging out with you more and doing all some of this stuff. So, congratulations on your retirement coming up.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Photo. Oh, whatever that's.
All right, do we have any public comment concerning Chief Parker? Please come forward.
Push the button.
I could not let Chief Parker get away without having somebody from the community talk about him. I understand you have a certain relationship with him, but I think all of us do as well. First of all, I want to welcome Chief Jones. Cloverdale is a great place, especially if you're going to be the police chief, but I also think you have some pretty big shoes to fill. I say that because Chief Parker, not only is he the chief, but he's also kind, approachable, a human being, and has a great sense of humor. So I can't let him go without saying that every police chief that's come to Cloverdale, I try to go up and introduce myself to him because I don't want him to find out about me any other way except for straight looking him in the eyes and saying, yeah, this is who I am. We will miss him. And I also want to say I really appreciated that he would answer my questions when he was sitting on the dais as part of the city council in a way that city council members can't really answer because they don't do his job. So Chief Parker, I just want to say, I'm sad to see you go, but I'm wishing you a great retirement. And I, as well as I know a lot of other Cloverdale citizens, will miss you. Thank you.
All righty. Any other comments concerning Chief Parker? Okay, seeing none. Let's move in. Oh.
Hi. I want to say that Chief Parker, you are the first person in your line of work that I actually got to go up and talk to about an incident and felt heard, and so appreciate your willingness to really be here for the community on any level. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay, seeing none. We will move into item B3, Cloverdale Citizen Recognition Program. And the presenter would be Councilmember Morgenstern, and the recipient is Chief Parker.
Once a year, the city council, each member gets to pick a person they want to honor, and I decided right away I wanted to honor the chief. He has dedicated his life to serving the Cloverdale community, both in and out of uniform. His commitment to improving the lives of others has made a lasting impact on countless residents and exemplifies the true spirit of volunteerism and community leadership. For more than a decade, Chief Parker has volunteered as a youth football coach with the Cloverdale Lions Club Chargers, mentoring hundreds of young athletes. Through his leadership, he has taught discipline, teamwork, accountability, sportsmanship, and respect, helping develop not only better football players, but better young men and women. His influence has extended well beyond the playing field, providing guidance and positive role models for generations of local youth. Chief Parker also leads by example in community service. Under his leadership, city employees participated in the International Rise Against Hunger campaign, where his team collected and donated more than 950 pounds of food to the Cloverdale Food Pantry, helping families in need and reinforcing the city's commitment to caring for its community. As Chief of Police, Chief Parker has transformed the Cloverdale Police Department through innovation, professionalism, and a strong focus on community engagement. During his tenure, he modernized the department by implementing advanced public safety technologies, including automated license plate readers, enhanced crime analysis tools, improved officer equipment, upgraded facilities, and expanded emergency preparedness capabilities. These improvements have strengthened officer safety, improved investigative capabilities, and enhanced service to the community. Beyond technology, Chief Parker has built strong relationships between the police department and the community through numerous outreach programs and events. He has supported and expanded initiatives such as National Night Out, Coffee with a Cop, school partnerships, youth engagement programs, emergency preparedness, education, public safety demonstrations, neighborhood events, and countless community celebrations. His philosophy has always been that policing is the most effective when built on trust, collaboration, and genuine relationships with the people served. Throughout his career, Chief Parker has demonstrated unwavering integrity, compassion, and a servant's heart. Whether coaching youth on the football field, leading charitable initiatives, improving public safety, or simply taking the time to connect with residents, he has consistently placed the needs of the community above his own. Chief Parker's dedication, leadership, and countless hours of volunteer service has made Cloverdale a stronger, safer, and more connected community. His legacy will continue to benefit the community for many years to come, making him exceptionally deserving of this Community Member Appreciation Award. And the one thing I really want to thank you for, and I'm sure the community does, is you and your team handled and solved the Sarah Gear case and put somebody who did that crime behind bars. So thank you very much. And we have a certificate of recognition for you. And from the city, we have one, even though it's small, the key to the city. And two, we have a dinner for you at the Supper Club, and the city and the Supper Club together are giving you this. And so we want to get a photo with you and give you your certificate of recognition for being a wonderful citizen.
A photo? Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hector, did you see that? You're going after me. After me.
Getting it all, finishing on top.
the only one getting it. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. All right, folks, thank you very much. It's sad to see Chief go, but we'll see him around town. So please talk to him and all that. And he's just a great guy, a pillar of the community. So it'll be nice to see him around. All right, let's move into, we're going to go B4, proclamation, Disability Pride Month. And there's also on this that comes up is a public comment that I'd like to read after Councilmember Councilmember Marquez reads the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor Wheeler. This is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale recognizing July 2026 as Disability Pride Month in Cloverdale. Whereas Disability Pride Month is celebrated nationally each July to honor the history, achievements, experiences, and contributions of people with disabilities and to commemorate the anniversary of Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, landmark civil rights legislation enacted in 1990. And whereas people with disabilities are valued members of Cloverdale community whose talents, perspectives, leadership, creativity, and contributions strengthen our city and enrich the lives of those around them. And whereas in 2026, Disability Pride Month theme, The World Works Better With Us, recognizes that our workplaces, schools, neighborhoods, and communities are stronger, more innovative, and more welcoming when people of all abilities are fully included and empowered to participate. And whereas the City of Cloverdale is committed to fostering an accessible, inclusive, and welcoming community where residents and visitors of all abilities can fully participate in civic, social, educational, recreational, and economic life, reflecting our commitment to preserving Cloverdale's inclusive small town spirit. And whereas family members, caregivers, educators, employers, advocates, service organizations, and community partners all play an important role in promoting accessibility, removing barriers, and supporting the independence and full participation of people with disabilities throughout the Cloverdale community. And whereas Disability Pride Month provides an opportunity to celebrate the achievements of people with disabilities, promote greater understanding and inclusion, and reaffirm our shared commitment to building a community where every individual is welcome, respected, and empowered to thrive. And now for there it be proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Cloverdale hereby recognizes July 2026 as Disability Pride Month in Cloverdale, encourages all residents to celebrate the contribution of people with disabilities, promote accessibility and inclusion, and help build a community where every individual is welcomed, respected, and empowered to participate fully. Dated July 22nd, 2026, so ordered, Mayor Brian Wheeler.
Perfect. Thank you, Councilmember Marquez. And also, I want to read this email that we received. It says, Dear City Council members, I would first like to thank the City of Cloverdale for recognizing July as Disability Pride Month. This proclamation affirms that people with disabilities are valued members of our community and highlights the importance of accessibility, inclusion, and removing barriers to participation. As someone with nonverbal autistic family members, I respectfully ask the city to take the next step by installing communication boards in our parks. These boards provide a simple yet meaningful way for nonverbal individuals and others with communication differences to express their needs, interact with caregivers, and fully participate in public spaces. Communication boards are more than an accessibility feature. They are a visible statement that everyone belongs. They reflect the values of inclusion, equity, dignity, and respect described in tonight's proclamation while creating safer, more welcoming parks for families throughout our community. Cloverdale has an opportunity to turn the words of this proclamation into meaningful action and become a leader in Sonoma County by demonstrating what true inclusion looks like. Thank you for your time, your leadership, and your continued commitment to building a community where every resident is welcome, respected, and empowered to participate fully. Samantha Maloney. And the reason I read that is we're giving recognition to our parks superintendent who is here and Chief Parker, and it kind of encompasses what Cloverdale is all about. When we do get an ask like that, we don't have to go through all the bureaucratic mess and all of that. That's a simple fix, and I think it's a huge addition to our park. Councilmember Marquez brought it up prior to reading that, and it's a great idea. So we're going to be working with our park superintendent and other folks and see if we can get that done at our parks here in the very near future. So thank you very much. All right. Do we have any public comments on that? Seeing none. All right. We are going to move into B5, Proclamation, Parks and Recreation Month. Presenter will be Councilmember Lasky, and Park Superintendent Hector Galvin is a recipient.
The proclamation of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale recognizing July 26 as Parks and Recreation Month in Cloverdale. Whereas Parks and Recreation Month is celebrated nationally each July to recognize the vital role parks, recreation, open space, and the professionals who care for them play in building healthy, vibrant, and connected communities. And whereas the National Recreation and Park Association has designated the 2026 Parks and Recreation Month theme as the Power of Parks and Recreation, celebrating the power of connection, play, community, nature, belonging, and well-being that parks and recreation bring to people and communities across the nation. And whereas the City of Cloverdale is proud to maintain a diverse and growing system of parks and open spaces, including City Park, Ferber Park, Vintage Meadow Parks, Tarman Clark Park, Downtown Plaza, the Cloverdale Cemetery, River Park, Porterfield Creek Open Space Preserve, and the recently opened 209-acre Soda Springs Ranch Open Space Preserve. And whereas Cloverdale's dedicated Parks Division, though small in size, proudly stewards more than 700 acres of parks, preserves, open spaces, trails, civic landscapes, and over 400 city trees, providing residents and visitors countless opportunities to recreate, explore, and connect with nature. Whereas the City Council is committed to expanding recreation opportunities for residents of all ages and abilities, and to continuing the development and establishment of a dedicated recreation division. Recognizing the efforts of the city's park superintendent and public information officer who have built the foundation for a recreation division that will strengthen community connections, enrich the quality of life, and reflect the city's adopted mission, vision, and values. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Cloverdale hereby recognizes July 2026 as Parks and Recreation Month in Cloverdale and encourages all residents to celebrate the power of the parks and recreation by exploring our local parks, trails, preserves, and open spaces, participating in recreation programs and community events, volunteering during community park cleanup activities, and learning more at our website, cloverdale.net/parks and rec. Dated July 22nd, 2026, so ordered. Brian Wheeler, Mayor.
Let's go again. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, members and staff. I'm honored to receive and accept this proclamation. This proclamation belongs to everybody here. Everybody here, including you, have worked very hard on trying to get more recreation activities for the community. I can think when I first started working here with the city, we had just a few parks. I've been here for about 18 years. And ever since then, now we have 500 acres of open space. We have pickleball courts. We have the dog park. We have river access. We've updated most of our parks, and we're continuing to make and strive to make more recreational activities for our community. And soon to come here, hopefully here, the community garden is coming. So it's taken a lot of work, and it's taken a lot of dedication and work from everybody here, from the community, putting in those survey monkeys that we put together with the help of City Clerk Mike Maloney, just to reach out to the community out there and just to see what they want, what they like, and see if we can accommodate it and make some of those recreation activities happen. So thank you so much for thinking and considering myself to come out here and for the opportunity to come out and talk. And I know I didn't get an opportunity to say much about the chief because I probably get too emotional, but the chief had a lot to do with a lot of the recreation activities that we've been putting together. For the grand opening, he was there at the Soda Springs Ranch. We were there like 6:30, him and I. You guys were there helping me set up, helping me get everything together. Yeah, he was there for the basketball court grand opening. He was there for everywhere. He's everywhere. And so he's a really good friend of mine. He's also my son's coach. And he's a great person. The community was very lucky to have him. And we're going to miss him. And that's the reason why I didn't want to come out here and say too much, because I will lose it. But anyways, thank you so much, and appreciate your help. Thank you for your time.
Superintendent Galvan, really got to thank you. You know, we did this proclamation last year and thanked you. And I would say this year, I really understand like how much that you provide to the city. You've been a great partner working with health and wellness hikes, outdoor education, the community garden, and learning how pivotal you were in getting our new open space opened up. So I just think that this is kind of the beginning of a lot of things that can blossom here. And just want to give an extra special shout out to the whole park staff as well. I mean, you got a great team, and just whenever something comes up, I mean, you just grab the bull by the horns, and we've got a lot done together. I appreciate your work. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I want to thank you for all that you do. You're just a wonderful person, very caring. And I really want to thank you for working on the tick warning signs with me. And I know you have more work than ever now that Soda Springs is open. And I'm just thankful for everything that you do for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Hector, great job. We'd like to say a lot of people probably who don't know you, but know you through our park systems, right? When they go to the parks and appreciate it, they know I want to call you like the man behind the curtain, like you're the great Wizard of Oz when it comes to the park systems in Cloverdale. So we all appreciate you. Thank you to you and your staff.
To you and your family, because that's what we've created here. You have created a family within the workers, and it's amazing to see. When I first got on council, they were excited to go home, and now they're excited to be here. Yeah. And it's all because of leadership. So thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for all your hard work, the Saturdays, the Sundays, the night times, the text messages, everything that we have to do to make this place run. You're it, and we appreciate it and look forward to doing more. So thank you for everything.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Hector, thank you very much. I mean, everybody's going to sit up here and, the town of Cloverdale, if they don't know you, they've heard of you. And it shows in the parks. I mean, I can call you at any time. There's a response there right away. I think anybody on the council can call you, and you take care of things immediately. The parks look awesome. And as you know, I'm at every one of them walking my dog, and I constantly get these parks look outstanding. So you guys get accolades from whenever council's asked, I'm sure you get a lot of accolades from us and say, hey, it's Hector and the staff. We throw them in there between Miguel and all the guys you got. You guys got it under control. So thank you very much and continue doing what you do. It's, the town's looking awesome. So we're greatly appreciated by everybody. So thanks again, man.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just to make a good point, so a couple of years ago, we decided to restructure the Parks Department with the help of everybody here, and it's been a total success. Now we have more funds, we have more staff. We're able to respond quicker with the Parks and Street staff. We're cross-training everybody. Everybody's cross-trained to work in the Parks Department, water main repairs, water leak repairs. So I just want to say out there, it was a great move. Everybody's, like Vice Mayor mentioned, everybody's looking forward to come to work. Everybody's happy. Everybody is, most of the workers are local Cloverdalians. And so I just want to thank you for that. It's been a total success so far.
Do we have any comments from the public on this?
Yeah, I just want to thank Hector and his crew, the Parks Department. Throughout the years, Cloverdale went from a very small down Parks Department, morphed into what equates to be a commercial grade land management company, right? We have fallers, we got brush trimmers. These guys are managing hundreds of acres, not just an acre or two in a park. They're not trimming grass. And to Hector's account, the blade of grass getting trimmed with a toenail clipper and a 40-foot tree are equal. I mean, they will get the same amount of scrutiny. He'll do the greatest job he can do. And he blankets the whole town with that. And I think myself enjoying the parks, my children enjoying the parks, and seeing how everyone comes into town now just to enjoy our parks, and having him part of our department is an excellent. When they offered that to us, we were very excited to have him become the Public Works and Parks Superintendent. So thank you very much for having that. Thank you, Hector, and thank you for all the hard work.
My name is Lariva Miles, and I've lived in Cloverdale for about 16 years, so a little bit less time than Hector's been here, if he's been here for 18 years. But anytime somebody asks me what it's like living in Cloverdale, because most of the time they don't even know that that's still in Sonoma County, they don't know where it is. And so when they ask me where I live and I say Cloverdale, they say, well, what's it like to live there? And I say, every day I get up, I walk outside, and I feel like I live in paradise. And that's because I live on a property with all of these old growth heritage trees that are huge. They have been around ever since the historical pictures that the Historical Society, has. And so Hector Galvan has been very helpful to me because I've had numerous times when PG&E wants to come out and trim my trees. And I had one tree that really did need to be cut down, and I went back and forth with PG&E probably for about 4 or 5 years about whether or not they were going to do it. And when they finally decided to do it, I was able to call up Hector and just ask him, do they have permits, Hector, to do what they're going to do? I wanted to make sure that they were going to do a good job and that they would be responsible to not only what PG&E was asking them to do, but also to me as the homeowner, and also to the rules that Cloverdale has. So I do believe I live in paradise, and I think part of that is because you take such good care of this place, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Thank you.
I have the mic. No, Hector does a really good job. He's one of the hardest workers in the city. I said one of this because I'm the hardest worker. He's second. But he does a really good job. Like for instance, today I'm yelling at him from upstairs, and he's trying to walk into the city hall. I said, hey, there's weeds right underneath this, these stairs, they need to be cut. Why are there a bunch of weeds here? Let's get it done. So he promised to take care of that tomorrow. Right? Didn't you? But I'll always yell at him and his guys, you know, I drive by, get to work. God dang it, Chris. But, you know, he has a great group of guys. They're hard workers. I bring them donuts sometimes. He does not. 2 donuts. Yeah. You know, when they set up for the last event we had, it was 4th of July. They were out there a week ahead of time, setting up all this stuff. Of course, I was out there harassing him, but Hector was watching. But he's a really hard worker. I enjoy, like I said before, I enjoy working with him. He's a great person to be around. His son, he has a great son. Brittany, his wife, is really great. I yelled at your son, by the way. He was walking across the field. He came on the field late, and he's walking to practice. Why are you walking? Let's go. You're late. Huh? Get over. But he's really good. He's a really great family. I enjoy being around them. You're well deserving of this recognition.
All right, any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, let's move into a quick picture, and then we do have to divert to item G. So let's get a picture with Hector. All right, folks, as we mentioned in the beginning of the meeting, we are going to move in. We have to do this at 7 o'clock. So we are going to skip to item G, public hearing, and the public hearing to receive community input regarding district boundaries for district-based elections.
Good evening, Mayor. And just to clarify for the public, we'll go back to the rest of the agenda after this. As the council knows, back in June, the council adopted a resolution of intent to transition to district-based elections. This was due to a threat of litigation from a claimant alleging that the city's system of at-large elections for city council was violating the California Voting Rights Act. This is a very common claim. Many cities have gone through this same process in the past. Cloverdale is one of the last remaining cities in Sonoma County that still has a at-large system for electing a city council. So as part of this process, and I'll just add, as the council knows, this decision was made to avoid costly litigation or the risk even of just spending a lot of money on litigation costs. The process to transition involves five public hearings, where this is the first public hearing tonight. As part of a transition to district-based elections, the council will be dividing the city up into districts, either 4 or 5. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And in the future, council members will be elected from each district, just like the Board of Supervisors are now. You know, within the district, the candidates will have to vote there, and only residents within that district are eligible to vote. And so the city council is responsible for drawing these lines, but there are requirements. First, and let me just pause. We have hired, as was mentioned to the council previously, we need an expert demographer to assist in this process, to help us draw the lines and make sure we're complying with all of the requirements. We've retained National Demographic Corporation, who is a very experienced firm, really the leading firm in California. They have helped Sonoma County with the districting process after the last census. They've helped Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and Roanoke Park when they did their initial transition to district-based elections. So the firm is very experienced in this work. But ultimately, the decision is up to the city council. Justin from NDC is on tonight in case you have any questions. So when drawing the district lines, there are a couple things that the council need to keep into consideration. Districts have to be approximately equal in size. The largest district and the smallest district can't have a different percent, can't be different by more than 10%. So every district doesn't need to be exactly the same size, but the difference between the largest and the biggest can't be more than 10%. Districts have to be geographically contiguous, so you can't, have a district that's in two separate parts of the city or isolated from the rest of the city. Districts need to maintain neighborhoods and communities of interest. That's really up to the council to determine what a community of interest is based on feedback you hear from the public and your own knowledge. It's really an area with shared interest in some way. So the example I give in the staff report is in a big city where you might have 5 elementary schools. You might want to try to think about the elementary school zone is a community of interest. Or some cities have multiple subdivisions. We have a subdivision here. You might think of that as a community of interest, even though it's not sort of a legally defined area. The boundaries need to be understandable, so they should follow major roads or obvious geographic boundaries like a river, and they should be as compact as possible. So there are 3 members of the city council 3 seats up for election in 2026. Those seats will continue to be elected at large because it is too late to complete this process in time. As the council knows, as the public may know, nomination period is already open for that. So that election will continue to be at large. The individuals elected in that election will serve out their full 4-year term. In 2028, we will start the process of electing people by district. So the seats up for election in 2028 would be 2 people up for election from a district. So there will be a period of time where there's a mix, but by 2030, all 5 people will be elected from districts. With one caveat we'll talk about in a minute, that'll be up to the council to decide. And I guess now so there's 5 public hearings. Tonight's the first one to receive input from the council. We'll have a second public hearing where that same process goes on, and then the public will have the opportunity in the council to draw draft maps. Part of the service NDC offers is there will be printed maps people can fill out and send in, but there will also be an online tool people can use, and that way you can keep track of population very well and easily. And we will publish all of these draft maps on the website. NDC is also responsible for producing some draft maps that they know comply with all of the legal requirements. And then the council will look at those maps, hear from NDC about which ones maybe don't meet requirements that were proposed by members of the public and which ones do to show you. And those will all be published on the city's website at least 7 days before the 3rd public hearing. At the 3rd public hearing, you might provide some direction. Hey, we like map 6, but we want to make this change for it. People can continue submitting maps. And then at the 4th public hearing, the council will be asked to pick a map so we can introduce an ordinance to adopt that map with the final adoption at the 5th public hearing. You've heard me say, 4 or 5 districts. a couple of times. And that's because one thing the council can decide is whether or not to, as part of this process, create a directly elected mayor. Right now, as you know, the mayor is just elected for a one-year term by the council from one of the council members. But we could establish a system of governance where the mayor is elected citywide by the voters. That is up to the council to decide. But obviously, that will make a difference. If you have a generally elected mayor, we'll have 4 districts in the mayor. If we decide to not have a directly elected mayor, there will be 5 districts. And it's really completely up to the council to provide that direction. In Sonoma County, you've seen cities of our size or a little bigger go either way. Healdsburg didn't do that. Windsor did establish a directly elected mayor when they transitioned. I think a consideration is for a small city, it allows the districts to be a little bigger. Instead of dividing the population by 5, you're dividing it by 4. So there's no direction needed on that tonight. Certainly comments are welcome. We will be asking the council to make a decision about that at the second public hearing, because the public and the demographer need to know, are we drawing 4 districts or 5? We are putting together, and we'll have live by hopefully later this week or next week, a landing page on the city's website. You may be familiar, there's a sort of a ticker at the bottom where there's different, there's the Esmeralda page, there's a page about the water rates, and click on it and goes to stuff. We'll have a page for districting there, which will have the updated schedule, the frequently asked questions, and all the various materials. We're also setting up a special email address where people can submit their comments that will also be posted at the website. It will be just districting at ci.cloverdale.ca.us. Members of the public can continue to submit comments the normal way to the city council, or of course, to come in public to make public comment. This is just a way to provide an alternative way to really make sure we're tracking those comments. So with that, I'll stop and see if there are any questions. If the council has any detailed or technical questions, I'll be deferring to our demographer online.
Really, I think most of my comments I'm going to save to the next hearing, but for now, what I kind of would encourage us to do is to reach out to the other cities and council members that have been through this process before, that we could learn some creative ways of engaging the community to get involved. I think, the circumstances here are going to affect the elections for a long time, or until something like this might get overturned at one point. So I think maybe kind of focusing on how to get the word out and get people involved.
I have a question. If we go to 4 districts where everyone's allowed to elect the mayor, how long is the mayor in office for?
So a great question. The council can decide whether you want the mayor to be a 2-year term position or a 4-year term position. And we don't need that direction at the second meeting. We'll need it when we adopt an ordinance, but 2 or 4 years.
I just think it's good for the public to have this knowledge, because then they can think about, do they want to be able to elect the mayor, or would they prefer the mayor's elected on the dais?
So just one quick question. 2028 comes and we go to district, and you have 3 council members sitting here. Are they divided into 3 districts at that point? Or is it still 2 at-large positions?
So in 2028, there will be 3 council members. Let's assume for a minute we aren't electing a mayor. We will divide the city into 5 districts. As part of choosing the districting, drawing the maps, the council also has to choose what districts to go in what order. So the council will choose 2 districts to be up for election in 2028. Those districts and those districts only will elect people to serve, to represent those districts. And then there will continue to be 3 at-large seats. So it might be District 1 and District 2, and then 3 at-large seats. And then by 2030, it will then be District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And then that same idea would be, if they went 4 and 1, it would be one district that we would choose plus the at-large mayor.
Correct.
Thank you.
And the one thing I'll add, because Councilmember Marquez triggered my memory, this process, the council will repeat this process after every census. So these are, there may be population growth between then or now, or you may just decide you want to change, these districts aren't working. And so, in 2031 or so, we'll go through this process again. It might be very short and simple, or you may just try to scrap the whole thing and drop entirely new lines.
Now, Alex, in say 2031, like you said, with growth or anything like that, do you have to go through the whole process again then of the 5 hearings to redistrict? It's the whole process repeated?
It's an entirely different process, and Justin may be able to speak to it. Are now different outreach requirements and things like that. Justin, can you speak to that?
Sure. And good evening. My name is Dr. Justin Levitt with National Demographics, and it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Essentially, in 2023, the legislature passed the Fair Maps Act, which does not affect mostly the transition to districting. That's mostly governed by the California Voting Rights Act, but it does affect the redistricting process. And essentially, leading up to the 2031 redistricting, the Secretary of State is going to provide guidance on the kinds of outreach, language requirements, website requirements that cities will follow through the districting process. We're hoping that the Secretary of State will produce those templates by 2030 so that cities will have ample time to review them and implement them, customize them before the redistricting process really gets underway. A lot of it is mostly stuff that cities are doing anyway, but just making them into requirements to, for example, reach out to your different community groups, different religious organizations, different civic organizations. As I stress, a lot of cities are doing that anyway. The new law makes a lot of that a formal requirement. The criteria actually are also unchanged from the districting process. They actually will apply to our process here as well as to the redistricting process. So we're going to get a taste of that as we go through the districting process over the next few months.
I have a question for Alex Mogg. If people decide they want to elect the mayor, would the mayor be a council member already?
Yeah, great question. So they would not be from a district, but they would be the mayor, just right. They'd be one of the 5 council members, but it'd be a permanent seat that's the mayor. Under state law, the mayor still wouldn't generally have any different powers than the mayor has now. The one difference is that the main difference is that for a generally elected mayor, the mayor would make all appointments. So appointments to boards and commissions, planning commission, things like that. Those appointments would still be subject to approval by the city council. So you could think about it like the presidential system. The president makes the nomination, still has to get approved by the Senate. So it would still be, they make the nomination, still needs approval from the council. But that's really the only additional power the person would have.
So just to clarify, let's say Councilmember Morgenstern runs this year, reruns, she wins. In 2028, she wants to run for mayor. Does she have to give up her seat to do so, or how does that work?
Yeah, so no one has to give up their seat until they're elected. So you can't have 2 seats on the city council at the same time, but you could run, and if you lost, you still have the seat you were in before. If you won, then you'd have to leave the other seat. And that's a great, another point. The at-large seats, 3 people will be elected at-large. If they live in the district that is up for election in 2028, they can continue to serve at-large. But when 2030 comes around, there will be no district for them to run in. So they might choose to run in that district in 2028 so that, if that's what they want to do.
Another quick question, Alex. So say we get this districting done, we have 5 districts, and what happens if somebody in the approved districts, we have no candidate that decides to run?
So the council would have to make an appointment, but it would have to be someone from that district. And these are all great. So we have a very basic FAQ there, and we'll be, based on the questions tonight, expanding the FAQ, and that'll be online, and we'll have some of these questions and what we may hear from the public added to it.
All right, let's open it up to the public on this. Any comments? Welcome back, Brooke.
Thank you, Mayor Wheeler. Quick question. Is there a chance that this will be appealed or there will be exceptions for a city of this size?
So not in the short term. Basically every legislative cycle, there's a push to try to get legislation to do it. There was a proposed bill. It died. It didn't even make it out of one house of the legislature. And just based on the other laws that the legislature has passed regarding the California Voting Rights Act, it doesn't seem like there's a will in the legislature to create this incentive.
Thank you.
Lariva Miles, I'm a resident of Cloverdale. To the city attorney, are you at liberty to disclose where this request came from?
Yeah.
That because there was possibly legal action going to happen?
Yeah, so the claim was submitted by the law firm of Shankman and Hughes, and they're the same firm that submits these letters in most cities who've gotten them, on behalf of the Southwest Voter Registration Education Project and its members residing in Cloverdale.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Any other public comment on this? Okay, I'm seeing none. All right. So Alex, we'll have then, and this is all in the agenda. If folks want to see at the next meeting, there will also be one up to a total of 5 of these hearings. Okay, thank you.
And just one last comment. We have a published schedule. It may be changed as we try to balance council meeting agendas. So just continue. We'll advertise them on our social media accounts and the newsletter and that website page, but just so the public's aware of that.
All righty. All right, we will adjust back now to item D1, verbal comments. Any person wishing to speak on an item not listed on the agenda may do so at this time. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the City Council is not allowed to consider issues or take action on any item not listed on the agenda. 3 minutes are typically allotted to each speaker. And please state your name when you come up for the record. Thank you. Just push the button.
Good evening, council members. My name is Adrienne Garialdi, and I'm here this evening to bring you 2 very brief updates on some projects that are happening in the area. The first one is the Asti Permanent Bridge. And you know, Sonoma County Public Infrastructure has been trying to build a permanent bridge at the site of the seasonal bridge for a number of years. So where we're at right now is the borings were done last fall, and our consultants are finishing the type selection report and the foundation report. But our big need is the money to finish the design work. So that is the focus right now. We were very hopeful that our build grant application would be funded, but unfortunately it wasn't. That funding application also was asking for money for the city of Cloverdale to work on their downtown transportation, as well as the smart train planning from Hillsburg to Cloverdale. So we will be doing a debrief, and we'll be deciding if we're going to apply for that funding again, or there's other funding available. And in the meantime, I know Supervisor James Gore and others are working on some additional options that we could pursue. The second thing I would like to talk to you about you probably haven't heard anything about is the Alexander Valley feasibility study. And this study is being done, actually managed by Sonoma County Water Agency with money from Supervisor Gore. The consultants will be looking at the Alexander Valley reach of the Russian River and be doing a report that will actually show the current conditions of our river channel, as well as a list of potential enhancements that we could do to help with flooding and other issues along the river in Alexander Valley. Excuse me. So to keep this brief, I've actually brought a little handout for you all to take home, and it's the executive summary, and it also has kind of where they are with the study at this point, and they will be having workshop and meetings in the fall to do presentations to the community. But I just wanted to let you know that preliminarily, they're looking at the gravel buildup in the valley, 2 places, which we all know. At greatest risk for flood inundation is Cloverdale and Geyserville. So thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hi. My name is Jennifer Sullivan, and I live in Cloverdale. The comment that I hear over and over again about Esmeralda is that a project of this size and consequence should be decided by the people of Cloverdale, not by 5 council members alone. This is the largest development proposal in the city's history, with long-term implications for water, traffic, public services, finances, and the former industrial site itself. So I'm asking each of you directly, what would it take for the city council to place this decision before Cloverdale's voters? How much public concern would you need to hear, and how many unresolved questions would need to remain before you concluded that residents deserve the final say? If the council believes this project truly has broad community support, then allowing the public to vote should not be viewed as a threat. It should be viewed as confirmation. And there's like 2 minutes left. Could anybody explain maybe what that process would look like, or if you guys would consider it?
So the council can't discuss items that aren't on the agenda. I'm sure if you reach out to them individually, they may be able to share their opinions with you on that topic, but we can't discuss items that aren't on the agenda.
Okay.
All right, any other public comment?
Hi there. My name is Kim Kern, and I've lived in Cloverdale and owned a home here for over 10 years. I'm a lifelong educator and a public servant, and I'm here tonight because I'm genuinely worried for our community's future. I'm worried about responsible growth. Not growth itself. I mean, I do believe that Cloverdale should grow. We definitely want new homes, new families, new energy. We even want rich people, like, that's good. But I am concerned about Esmeralda because I feel like maybe we're pretending a bit that this is growth. The Esmeralda project is not just new homes. It's 600 luxury homes. That's not an addition. That's a transformation. That's going to be roughly 14% of all homes in Cloverdale. A development of that scale will reshape our culture, our resource usage, our schools, and our fiscal reality, as Ms. Sullivan's already talked about. I don't know her at all. I just came here. I don't even do much publicly in Cloverdale. But it speaks to our last agenda item that we just had, because it creates a ready-made voting block right at the exact moment that Cloverdale is shifting to district-based elections. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but it's an interesting coincidence, isn't it? I've seen this dynamic before. I lived in Southern California for over a decade, and I watched what happened when large golf course and resort communities were built in small communities. When you attach a wealthy enclave onto one side of the highway and a very different community on the other, the city doesn't just grow, it splits. And that's not a growth, that's a power shift. And the consequences of that shift will not be obvious until they're already made irreversible. So as a school superintendent in a wine country district, I know a lot about developers, and I know even more about legal fees. And I can tell you that a city's legal costs could easily balloon into multi-six figures. You know, we're avoiding this other lawsuit, right? So if land use permissions are granted before every detail is nailed down, these costs could easily dwarf any developer fees or community benefit structures or anything we're currently discussing right now. We've all seen this play out before. When you build a high-income island, suddenly the political landscape flips. Not because of democracy, but because of geography. So, tonight I'm asking the council to consider something both simple and courageous. I feel like we should hold the line and be very careful about our city's resources and our city's power. We should not give developers the full go-ahead or land use rights or all these things and whatever until every number, every impact, every obligation, every protection for Cloverdale and its residents is fully understood and fully secured. Growth is coming. That is not a question. We all know that. We can all see and feel that. The question is, do we grow responsibly, or are we going to let outside interests shape Cloverdale faster than we can protect Cloverdale? So Cloverdale is the last frontier of wine country. Cloverdale is an amazing, incredible community. That's why I moved here. That's why I commute a long way, almost 2 hours each way every day. We are unique and we are valuable. Our budget may not look perfect today, but prosperity is already on the way. It's coming. This is not the only project. It's not you can bet. That's exactly why we have to be thoughtful, strategic, and unwilling to sell Cloverdale short. And leave one more sentence. Let's please get the facts right. Let's get the agreements right. Let's protect what makes Cloverdale extraordinary. Before we give away our negotiating power, we must make sure we protect and maintain a healthy, vibrant, and connected community, if we actually mean that, that serves all citizens. Thank you.
All right, do we have any other public comment?
Hello, Dana Starr. I'd like to share a little piece of information that I learned when I attended Mike Maloney's City Council possible run. And one of the things that was most impactful for me was a diagram that he put up for everybody to see. And in the center of the diagram was the city manager. And then going below the city manager was each of the department heads and all the staff people underneath that. So it's a flow chart showing from him down and how everybody below responds up to him. The more interesting part of the chart was what was above him and who then takes information down to him to instruct everybody below. And what that chart showed is the 5 city council members directing him in the decision-making process. And the most fabulous part of it was above the city council members, at the top of the chart is the residents of Cloverdale. Now, unfortunately, I don't remember exactly the colors or the shape of the boxes and all that, but in my mind, that is, close to 9,000 boxes above 5 boxes representing city council members. And Mike's explanation was city council serves everybody in Cloverdale. And I just want to remind you that that's what I learned, and I hope that all of you remember that from when you entered the process. Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment? Okay, I'm seeing none. I just want to remind folks that the written comments, we do receive those. Those are on Cloverdale Agenda Center or cloverdale.net. You can see all of the written comments that were sent in. We have no presentation. Let's move into F, consent calendar. All items under the consent calendar will be considered together by one action of the city council unless any council member or member of the public requests that an item be removed and considered separately. Do we have any we'd like to remove?
I just wanted to pull item F7 to be considered separately. And then item F2, I just had a couple amendments regarding a name on there.
Okay.
This would have been a request to our city clerk who is not here today regarding that item F2.
Okay. How would you like to? We have Susie here. You want to?
Okay.
It's online. Okay.
And this just is a simple request.
Okay.
I can mention that if we go into the item.
Okay.
If you just want to say it right now, it could be incorporated into the.
If that's okay. For item F2, just wanted to amend H1. There was a name that is listed as Jean Lowe. Just wanted to correct that to Jean Lyle. The last name is Lile. And in regarding to the general public comments on the F2 item for the minutes of June 10th, 2026, did want to request that general public comments also contain a item that the commenter was speaking on, similar to the F4 item that was the June 24th meeting. I think that just helps increase our transparency.
Can you clarify what is something inaccurate in those minutes?
There was just amendment on the name, so that was the only thing to change. But the request is that the item for June 10th, different from the item on June 24th for the council minutes, is that the general comments on the meeting for June 24th contained a subject that the commenters were commenting on. So I think in a minutes that helps people sort of you work as an index.
The minutes are just a reflection of what occurred, so they shouldn't include any information besides what was discussed at the meeting.
That's precisely right. That there's a clarity difference in those two minutes. The July 24th meeting, under the general comments, you will see a subject matter attached to the commenter. And so in the July 10th meeting, there's no subject attached to the commenter. So the request is that maybe we continue attaching the subject matter to the commenter. I wouldn't necessarily ask for this one to be revised, but moving forward, if we can keep with that practice.
Right. Is that, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were making a cross-reference. That's up to the council. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we have to, that's something we need to get with the city clerk on, and that can be.
Yeah, and our city clerk's not present today, and he might be listening, but that's a request I can make in person.
I'm available if you'd like to talk, if you want me to speak.
Oh, Mike's out there, and did you catch my comment?
Yeah, so I've gone back and forth both directions. As far as we do action minutes. I do try to capture the action. I've noticed to date, it's hard to do that with public comment without to accurately summarize someone's public comment, because sometimes they speak on multiple items. Since we record the meetings, it became significantly easier Sorry, I got a kid out. That's why I'm home. But so you can hear them. But I'm happy to do either way. The council gives direction. I just want them to be clear that if a member of the public is upset or doesn't feel that I accurately captured them in a summary, I don't think it's the best use of staff's time to continuously update the minutes because that is what will happen. But I'm happy to do whatever the council likes. But that's my opinion on that, I guess you could say.
Thanks, City Clerk. I think just speaking for myself, I do appreciate having the item, the subject matter listed. And, I don't think we've had much of experience in the past with too many people being upset about it.
So if the city council wants to make a policy in the future, that's fine. If not, it's up. You could ask for that as a future agenda item, or Mike will do what he's going to do. And you, of course, if you don't feel the minutes are accurate, have the right always to vote.
And
no.
this would be on the idea of just making it a policy on how we record the minutes. Okay.
Future agenda item.
You know what? I'm going to hold off on the future agenda item. Think about if there's something that we can sort of package and make that sort of more clear on a broad level. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Yeah, just one more comment. I just want to remain consistent. So whatever we decide to do, whether it's tonight or in the future, whatever policy the council wants to do, I'll follow it. But I do want to remain consistent, and I admit both these minutes are not consistent to date because I'm testing different methodologies that work best with our limited staff, limited time, and that capture what happened. But I agree. I think it's better to have the subject. I just don't want the public to be frustrated if I don't capture it accurately.
I like when you included the subject, so I appreciate that, City Clerk Maloney.
All right, and the next one's F7. You wanted to,
Okay, let's take a motion on
on the consent.
public comment, and then
Do we have any public comment on F2?
and this would be, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hold on.
Or
6.
we've got to come up and do a motion to approve that and then move into F2. So I need a,
I'll do it right now.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve F1, F2 with the change of Gene Lyle's spelling of his name, F3, F4, F5, F6, and F8.
there you go. Do I have a second?
Second that?
There
You got it there?
Second.
We already got a second from over here. Okay, let's vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did you catch that? Okay. Thank you, Susie, for stepping in. Motion passes. Now, let's move into, we did F2 with change. Let's move into F7.
I know Mr. Kuzlowski had asked to pull 7, and just reading through his comments, he was concerned that why didn't we identify this budget adjustment at the budget meeting? We did identify that I think it was $36,000 that we needed for the airport fencing gate. Upon further inspection, we found that the actual gate opener, the existing one, was unsalvageable, so we had to go back, and this is the total for that project. Not in addition to the original amount, it's an adjustment of that. He also brought up that could it wait? You know, we're under FAA guidelines to make the airport secure, so we kind of really need to make that happen. The city's liability is immense out there, so we definitely don't want to be liable for any vandalism or anything. And then the budget, the way the budget works, we're using the airport profit funds. The airport fund is kind of treated like the sewer and the water fund. It's its own enterprise fund, but we do have the ability to loan out and or backfill it with the general fund. These general funds that we're putting there to fill the gap and the airport funds do not transition into water or sewer projects. So the water and sewer projects are funded by their enterprise funds that are created from the sales of the water and sewer, the billing of that. So not doing this project would not allow us to push these funds into the water budget to have it used for a water project. And that was his concern. Could they be used in a better manner in a different department? It's just not, that's not how our funds don't commingle like that.
Do we have any questions?
Just want to thank you, Director Montagnier, for the explanation of that. And I will go with the staff direction on this. I'd like to make a motion to approve item F7.
I had a quick question, though. I got a question for you on when you mentioned that, I just brought this up, the liabilities that the city has out at the airport. What are those? I'm just for my knowledge.
I mean, if someone was to damage a plane, we're supposed to be operating a secure facility right in the airfield. So when you're talking about a secure facility, if we're unable to provide that security, right, because we're unwilling to budget money to repair the security apparatus, then that leaves us open for liability.
Thank you. All right.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item F7.
I second that motion.
All right, good. Do you have any public comment on that? Airport? Seeing none. All right, we have a motion. Councilmember Marquez, second, but Councilmember Morgenstern. Let's bring it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Okay, new business, H1. Consider comment letter regarding proposed Alexander Valley Water District.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. As the council is aware, at the last meeting, the council considered a request from Councilmember Marquez regarding engagement with regional agencies on water issues, and the council adopted a resolution authorizing Council Marquez to meet with regional agencies regarding the proposed Alexander Valley Water District, with the intent that he was going to prepare a comment letter to bring back for the council for its approval, and then get authorization from the council to use that as a basis to make comments before LAFCO as a representative of the city, not just in a personal capacity. So I'll let in a minute, or when the mayor recognizes him later on, Councilmember Marquez speak about the conversations he's had. The proposed, by way of background, the proposed water district essentially covers the unincorporated areas in the city for the two water basins in the Alexander Valley, including the Cloverdale subbasin. So it goes from roughly sort of east of Cloverdale up to essentially the border with Mendocino County in the valley. It does not include Cloverdale or Healdsburg or our spheres of influence. It does not include our areas or the city or Healdsburg, excuse me. LAFCO previously had a hearing on this. They denied the proposal and expressed certain concerns. The Water District has submitted for reconsideration. That is being heard by LAFCO on August 5th. They are proposing the Water District, and I believe there are representatives here tonight, to oversimplify it, agreed to make some changes to accommodate LAFCO's concerns. Others, they are suggesting other language. Councilmember Marquez prepared the letter, and I worked with him on some changes. Our comments are really focused on issues sort of in dispute between LAFCO and the water board, the proponents of the water board district. Issues that city may have concerns about that LAFCO didn't identify as their concerns. We didn't address, didn't think that was valuable use of the comment. And basically, the comment addresses 4 points. One is just reiterating that this, there should be a condition making it clear that it doesn't include Cloverdale. That's in the application. The maps are not, when you look on a paper map, it's not the most detailed map. It can be hard to confirm, and just sort of reiterating that. Second is to support LAFCO's proposed condition about a groundwater sustainability agency. which is something that will likely need to be created for our region. It's not mandated yet, but the state, reevaluates it, and we may be upgraded soon and then have to create a groundwater sustainability agency. They can exist before they are mandated. In the future, we would create one ideally with everyone in the subbasin. And you'll see in the comment letter that you got tonight that the proponents of the water district want to be able to create one that doesn't have any regulatory authority, but allows them to do some planning now. The proposed condition by LAFCO that's contained in our letter doesn't allow them to do that yet. They have to wait until an agreement is reached, and then they can't act as the groundwater sustainability agency. It has to be another agency or a JPA that's created. We also are saying that they should not be able to serve properties outside of their territory. That is something that is with a proposed LAFCO condition. To summarize, their position is that they already serve some properties outside of their district based on existing facilities that exist. We just don't have the information on what those are, the details, exactly what that means. And so we are supportive of the LAFCO condition. And certainly when there's more detail about what that service would be, and regarding that, they'd have to go back to LAFCO under this condition for that approval, and we could comment again on that time. And then the last comment is just a encouragement for them to adopt some of the similar things we have, technology to help, make sure water is being used as efficiently as possible. So that include, metering and things like that. But we're not suggesting that as a condition of approval. The letter right now, I would say overall is neutral. It just tells LAFCO, if you are going to approve it, these are the conditions we recommend. Of course, the letter can be changed however the council wants, and the council could decide also if it wants to say, we support this application if you adopt these conditions, or we oppose this proposal, but if you're going to do it, these are the conditions we would recommend. So with that, I turn back to the mayor to see if you have any questions. And again, Councilmember Marquez has had these conversations, so some of these questions may be best directed to him.
I want to bring this to the council and have any comments from the council here.
In reviewing the letter, there's just some ambiguities in the letter. And I want to make sure, once again, that Cloverdale is not relinquishing their long-held water rights. It says, who's going to ensure that the future district operations do not inadvertently disrupt the municipal supplies of that our residents depend on? So who's going to ensure that? Is there an agency that oversees the metering? Who's going to report back?
They will self-govern like any district, like we self-govern. Ideally, in the near future, there will be the creation of a groundwater sustainability agency. The state will determine that we have moved from the low tier that we've been in historically up to medium, and then there'll be a requirement for that to be created. This is a little bit of an oversimplification. And at that point, we would enter into discussions with the people in the basin. So Healdsburg, the other folks, to get who's represented. Again, a little bit oversimplification, but the state ultimately has some say to make sure that things are represented there. And so a typical way is created is that a JPA is created to deal with some of the issues regarding groundwater. But until that point exists, these are just self-governing the same way we are self-governing.
Because we could say that we're being harmed, that they're drawing more water, but who's to say that we are or we aren't? Who's the governing body overseeing that type of information?
So the water rights are a state, they're enforced through litigation, but theoretically, the Department of Water Resources, they aren't getting new water rights. These property owners there have existing water rights. So it is not creating new water rights that exist without saying it's.
I understand the water rights. Everybody rurally has water rights. But what I'm saying is to make sure that Cloverdale is not harmed, who's ensuring that our rights to our basin, which they're going to be tapping as well, comes out and says, well, we feel that they're drawing too much water. And then they say, well, we're not. So, that kind of litigation can go on. And then they can set precedents in that motion, and we could be, losing a little bit of our rights.
So, ultimately, there may have to be litigation, but back in, I'm going to get the year wrong, maybe it was 2021, 2022, during last drought, the state helped organize and we participated, the property owners down there participated in a voluntary water sharing program to try to work out these issues, to make sure that Healdsburg was in it as well, to make sure that these shared, these resources that are critical for everyone, that no one got depleted, in part to protect junior rights holders, but just to protect everyone, to make sure that just because you didn't have a junior water right, that suddenly those citizens were going to go dry. And so that ideally is how we would work on this in the future, through one of those voluntary programs. I will say that, it's a very valid concern. It is not something that was, LAFCO didn't say we're concerned about Cloverdale's water rights. And so we didn't feel like it would be useful to put that to discuss that all in the comment letter, because it wasn't something identified by LAFCO as one of their concerns. And so we wanted to focus on what were the issues, that LAFCO had identified, or still an issue that we want to sway LAFCO, if they agree to reconsider this, which they may not. We want you to address these issues. And I know that's not a great answer, but that's sort of the concern. I think they'll hear to give public comment later on. I'm sure they'll talk about some.
So based on all of that, there's no real entity that will ensure that. And then if our residents are impacted, I don't want future council members to be put in a position to once again, what we're going through now, to say, we need a rate increase to protect ourselves based on A, B, C.
So what I would say, and this may or may not be convincing to you, right now you could have 500, and this made up number, property owners who are impacting our rights. Right. It is much easier for us to go and engage with one district than all of those property owners. I don't know whether that is helpful or not, but I think that's one way to look at it. It's we could have those exact same issues, concerns with right now, they have the water rights that they have now, and, that might be an issue, but now there's no central, there's a property owners association, but there's no central, governing body in the same way.
Yeah, just really quick, sphere of influence. That's not actually in the city limits. So what happens to those people?
So our comment is that they should be excluded from the district, that they should be within, not part of the district. They should be within, they should not be part of the proposed district.
So they're not part of Cloverdale and they're not part of that district. What are they?
We could take that out. That was...
Seems like they have no representation and they're left high and dry to me. But it's something that we need to really think about.
Yeah, and certainly I think, as is common with annexations, if they were part of the district and they annexed into the city, they would be annexed out of the water district likely and into the city. So we could change that in the comment letter if that's the direction from the council.
Upon annexation, they would be our responsibility, so they should be allowed to be in something until that point. Next thing, water rights. What water rights will this new formed water district have? It might be a question for Adrian, I don't know. I don't know if they have, if one person has pre-1914 water rights, does that get included for the whole district, or how does, Adrian, do you mind coming up? And you might be a better answer on that, I would think. And thank you for being here, to you and Mike.
Yes, thank you. Oops. Glasses. Okay, so water rights. Let's step back. Let's see, to the question about who has the say in guaranteeing the water, which you, council member, had brought up. So the State Water Board is the one that manages all water rights. And so they have the ultimate say. And they're not going to basically let the city of Cloverdale or anybody else not have water, especially a city, because that's health and safety water. And so as far as water rights, the new district does not necessarily have water rights, like maybe an irrigation district, although where I worked in Siskiyou County, the irrigation districts there actually don't have water rights because the systems are adjudicated. So just like down here, everyone here has their water rights already. There could be maybe new applications, we don't know, but that's all basically overseen by the State Water Board, Division of Water Rights. And so during the drought, the last drought, we worked for a couple of years to develop this water sharing program. We took that to the State Water Board, and it was approved for us to actually run that program for a few weeks in 2022. That's the first time this has ever been done in California. And it was a way that we could take limited water resources and sort of spread those out. And those people that got curtailed could then draw on a pool of water that the senior water rights, the pre-1914 water rights that signed up for the program, could set aside, use less, use none, depending what they needed. And I have been approached by a number of people at different events that I don't even know that said, you know, it saved us, it saved our crop, or it actually just saved our vineyard because they didn't have enough water to even water. And so these are the things that a water district can work on and work in partnership with the cities and others. The big issue here that I really want to identify for everybody, I don't know that everybody understands that the Sonoma County Water Agency does not represent the water users north of Hillsburg because they legally can't. They can only represent their water customers. And so that is why this whole area has had no representation and no organization. And now that we're seeing changes with our weather patterns and more droughts and more people trying to use the same resource, that it's really important to have a district because that's a recognized entity, and which is the other reason that the city of Cloverdale, the city of Hillsburg are not within the district is because they are an entity that is recognized. So they have their own standing and can work with a new water district, work with other partners. We had brought up our groundwater recharge project, and that pilot is being done by the Dry Creek Rancheria tribe. But once the grant is done, those continuing that groundwater study and the recharge program for on-farm recharge would need to go to a home, and that would, again, needs to be a water district.
So then with that, and this is my fear. There's two different things. One, it hurts Cloverdale, but two, it's a good neighbor, is how I look at it.
Yes.
That's because it does hurt our water, our supply. It really does. And it actually gives them strength over us in curtailments because they will be larger than Cloverdale for negotiating powers with the state for how much water is given.
That's right.
So but at the same time, like I said, it's not always about Cloverdale, it's also about humans. And so water sharing is the words that you use, and that is how we have to think, and that's why we wrote the first letter for you guys to support.
Thank you.
And that is why I still stand behind doing it, but I want it made clear that you're absolutely right. because water rights and the water sharing within themselves will take water, could possibly take water from us.
I think it's a good idea that we join and we go forward, and I think this letter's fine, personally. Thank you.
I just ask that you keep this in mind when we do come to curtailments, because we all know it's going to happen again. That we were
Yes.
good partners and we wanted to work with you, and that we know that it can hurt us and hurt our constituents, but at the same time, we're being good people. And so please keep that in mind when we're fighting over pre-1914 water rights that want to feed vineyards and everyone else instead of people.
Yes, it's difficult to work on water issues, but it gives me a great sense of pride to be able to actually think outside the box and work with all the people that got together over multiple years and are still meeting to develop the water sharing program so that it will be ready for the next drought. Do you have any other questions for me?
I have a comment on this, and it's just, like I said, you know, whiskey's worth fighting for, water's worth dying for. So do I have the trust in this? No, I don't. I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't have a trust in this. When it comes to Cloverdale, we're sitting up here to represent Cloverdale. Now, on the other hand, are we going to be good neighbors? There, like the vice mayor said, there is a human element there. But my big problem with it is when it comes down to, I'm going to lean 99% to human, and I could care less about the vineyards, to tell you the truth. When it comes to water for health, water for firefighting, water for people. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it. So I'm a little apprehensive back to giving bigger, when we sit at the table and it comes down to it, we're sitting there, and now you guys got more power to bargain for water than Cloverdale does. I'm going to have, that's kind of a, I don't know, little conundrum right there. So that's where my distrust comes in with this on the water. We also have to take into the fact this is all what's going to happen with Potter Valley. There's a lot of elements to this whole thing right here.
Right.
So right now, I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. I don't have a solid comment for you, except I just don't have trust in this just yet.
No, water is difficult. And for those that you don't know, I did my boot camp in the Klamath and worked on water issues up there. We did the first water sharing program in the Shasta Valley. Those were basically pick up the phone, call people, can you give us some water, turn down, turn off. Bringing people together to work on these issues is the most important. And that's what we're trying to do. And being proactive is going to be very important because we know the changes are coming. We don't necessarily know what they are, but they are coming.
Well, thank you to the property owners for being out here, Adrian, Denny, Mike, Peter. Appreciate getting to know you folks for over the last year or so. I want to thank my council, just everyone, for giving me the authorization, especially over this last month, to really start having these conversations in a little more aggressive fashion. I think we've, a couple scoping meetings, board meetings, phone calls. We've gotten a lot done. I've been back and forth with our city attorney. This is what a negotiation looks like. And I think it's a good time that Cloverdale is taking a part of this process where the previous hearings, we were not participating at all.
Right.
So I think it's good that we're here now. I think we've done our best to get where we're at tonight. We have a proposed letter. I'm appreciate the concerns from my council, but this is like we're starting to have this conversation. And we received a response to our draft letter just yesterday, which is also on our agenda today. So I'm not sure that everyone has had the time to process everything, but we're here and we're starting the conversation. So I think I just really want to recognize that and also thank our city attorney, Alex Mogg, for the work that he's done over this last month. Just a lot of going back and forth, identifying concerns, digging in and going back and forth. And it's been a negotiation. I think there's things here that, of course, aren't aligned at this point, but there's a lot of time left in this process. I think where we're at right now with the LAFCO proceedings and what's coming up on August 5th with the hearing for an appeal. I think that's where we're at right now, is that it's good that we have a comment prepared, that we're participating, we make our concerns known. And I think one of the thoughts that comes to mind is our future collaborations within our region, and that includes the city of Cloverdale, the proposed water district, city of Healdsburg, Lytton, and Dry Creek Rancherias. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to work together and come up with groundwater and water resiliency projects. That's really what we need to do with the proposed decommissioning of the Potter Valley project, that we have something immediate, that's an immediate solution for something that might be a while till we get a midterm solution like raising the dam, or a long-term solution like the second pipeline. We need to hopefully come together, potentially create an MOU or a JPA, and start working together on funding, and creating some solutions that we all know we're going to need regardless. I mean, we had curtailments even with the diversion. So my concern is that LAFCO does not make this whole process start over again. And so, I think we can keep negotiating, but I think it would be good to express our concerns to LAFCO, in that we are participating, and hopefully continue the hearing and not have to reset everything. And that might set things back, a year or two, if they're needed to go back to petition. So I think that would set us all back. And so that's my concern, immediate concern. I think I really am glad to hear the concerns from my fellow council that, we get our letter buttoned up by August 5th and deliver it. And so, what that's going to be, I mean, I think with the response letter coming in yesterday, we're actively negotiating right now. And so, I don't want to rush this evening's meeting, so we can come up with something that's absolutely vital to the success of our region, that we can start this process of working together and negotiating, because a lot of our goals don't exactly align 100%. So, us as a jurisdiction, we have very different goals than I think the larger agricultural community, but I think we have a lot of the same goals that we can work towards accomplishing together. I spoke with, texted with Mayor Herod of Healdsburg today, and we're going to have a conversation tomorrow. I think it would be good, he has to run it by his council to get an approval, but maybe start meeting as a larger region to kind of negotiate on this whole process and get everyone involved.
Right.
So I see it's good that we're involved. And where we're at with the letter, our council has some concerns, maybe specifics. I think if we can hammer those out tonight, I think we'd be in great shape.
Yeah, I thank you, Councilmember and Marquez. It's been a pleasure to be working with you, and you're taking such interest in actually learning about a very difficult, topic. I mean, it's not simple.
I think this has really been an elephant in the room conversation sometimes. I mean, coming to the meetings, and it's some of those things I think I didn't make a comment on the first LAFCO hearing because, I didn't have the authorization from the council, and I didn't want to, do anything that would be a jeopardy to Cloverdale. So, now that we're involved and the council is involved, our community is involved, I think we can definitely move forward with working on something. And certainly just, want to mention that this is there's still active negotiating going on. And as the maybe that's one of the things that we can help everyone understand is the LAFCO process. That kind of, there was the denial, so there will be the appeal. It's coming out on August 5th. And if that appeal is granted, what would be the next steps and opportunities for the community or us, Healdsburg, all to chime in and make our concerns known as well?
Yes, because, there'll be a number of more steps where that's going to go through a complete process, and there'll be multiple times when people can have, input along with voting, because ultimately the district would have to be sort of approved. If too many people object, then it wouldn't be formed. So that's the democratic part, is that there will be a vote ultimately.
Okay. So I think my suggestion with the letter is to, it's a big deal that we're participating and showing up at the hearing. I mean, first of all, so if there's still things that we all can't agree on right now, it's asking a lot. Then, maybe, if we can all agree to move forward with something, I'm talking about our council here, and that's what I would like to accomplish tonight.
Okay. And I believe you got our letter to you.
We did.
Hopefully that will help clarify some things also.
My concern with the letter is it came in yesterday, and I think it was shared with the council. It went on to the agenda at 3:00 this afternoon, and everyone's getting ready for the meeting. So I think a lot of my fellow council members are reading it literally up here on the dais, and I don't think
it might help the discussion.
I don't think it's really. It does, but I just want to take in concern that it's a bit to digest.
Okay.
And I think moving forward in other meetings, I think we can take all that into consideration. But we're also kind of under the gun to get something together since we're all here tonight.
Great. Well, thank you.
Yeah, just really quick. How many people would be involved in your district, approximately?
How many people?
Would be a part of your water district?
Oh, of the water district. Mike, do you have the number? Where's Mike? Mike might have the numbers. Get the numbers, guy.
There's 29,000 acres. Most of it is not inhabited. It's agriculture. So I don't know the number of people that are involved, but I do know the number of acres that are involved.
And when you did the petition, you had to have 50%, I believe, correct?
We had to have 50% of the acreage had to sign the petition, and we had a very good coverage of large and small and residential properties sign the petition.
And with this water district, are they all willing to be metered immediately and pay for the meters on their properties so we know how much water is being used?
The meters have been discussed. There are other ways that they can get the same kind of information. I can tell you that, I can't tell you, I have to make an assumption that's going to be a volatile issue. I know that the GSAs in the Santa Rosa Basin, Petaluma Basin struggled with that, and the county officials backed off of that. So I cannot promise that they would be metered.
That's kind of a sticking point for me, to be honest, because if you're going to be in curtailments and forming a water district, I'd like to know that it's being metered and being done correctly.
I'm going to allow Peter Keel to address this because this is a very important issue.
Good evening. That's a great question. LAFCO executive officer raised the same one. And what we looked at is essentially, something like 95% of the water use is metered. A mandatory metering requirement would hit the smallest domestic users the hardest. And so as a policy rationale, I don't support mandatory universal metering, but every surface water right that extracts Russian River flow or Russian River underflow are essentially metered because they have to report to the state. It's the subset of smaller groundwater wells that are not currently, but we have a good estimate of use.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, could I chime in back to concern? The comment on the metering is, there's our point number 4, which does mention, our extensive metering that we do here in the city. It really shows the benefit of extensive metering. And so I think this is kind of one of those things like, again, another elephant in the room conversation is, do we put our support or something dependent on the metering? Is that something we can accomplish? Given some of the realities with the LAFCO Commission, is this something that might get approved regardless? And so we don't know that. So we'll start breaking down the comment. With number 4, I chose to really wax poetic on the benefits of the metering that we do here in our municipality. I think it's a question of, do we ask for it as a condition, or do we also mention it and help guide it? I think that we're not the only ones that would be asking for metering. I know with the other comments that were made by the public, like Russian Riverkeeper has asked for metering. There's also, in conversations about this with other folks, I think there's a lot of other factors that, even if it's not in the initial approval or, in there, that it's kind of inevitable. And to some degree that I think that metering would be pushed. So it's like, that's something we can help guide. I think always be kind of something that we mention from time to time, but do we put that in the letter as a condition? And so that's where that question comes in. And so here it's like, I think I rather than sort of have too many conditions, I'm focusing on things that we can definitely acquire. I think the one of the other items that was a little bit more contentious too is number 3, and I think that's, again, this comes down to we need to advocate for our municipality. We are not the ultimate decision makers. This is not the LAFCO Commission. So, if we ask for something that may not be granted, or maybe we're not in agreement with the property owners about, I think it's still good to be diligent on our concerns. So, that's sort of where I think number 3 and number 4 fall.
So once again, it shows that we do a good job with metering. When it comes to curtailments and diversions and things, it's not showing others are. Yep. And so that would be something that I would be looking for.
Would you like to put that as a condition? Would you like the metering to be as a condition?
I personally would, yes.
You would? Okay.
I'd like to speak to metering specifically. My name is Dennis Murphy. I run ranches in the southern basin of Alexander Valley. All of us who have water rights have an obligation to report to Department of Water Resources in a manner that they approve of. Most of us have meters, but not all. Some of us have a time and energy use approved way to report water. We know that how long the pump runs and based on how many gallons of propane we use or how many kilowatt hours we use, that's an acceptable reporting method with the state of California. Metering is really driven by the state of California. As an example, if you have a water right over 1,000 acre-foot, you are required to have a meter that is accessible by the state of California on a moment's notice, and it is telemetered. I report once a year my monthly usage. It depends on how much water you use over the year. Your water rights are your water rights. They can never be taken away. Only DWR can change water rights. The priority of water rights in California is habitat and people first, agriculture last. So during critical times of shortage, agriculture is the first one that is cut off in all of these systems. You shouldn't have to worry about us being a bully in the classroom because we don't as an agency wouldn't have a water right. We may develop a water right through some other mechanism in the future for future water development, but nothing that currently exists would have a water right within the water district as we propose it. I wish you had a whole semester of water law here. We've been at this for 6 years. And we started before the drought of 2020 and anticipating, because we knew the dams were going to be leaving, anticipating that we have a viability problem with water in the northern Sonoma County. We want to work cooperatively with you, and that's why we really appreciate you having a liaison in Councilman Marquez with us. That's what we want to do. We're developing these relationships with tribes. Tribes will not be part of the district. They are federal, and they've asked for those lands that aren't in federal trust yet to be excluded. We will be putting together a full map of meets and bounds that you all will look at. But I really appreciate your time and effort to work with us in the future. We are really looking forward to a long-term sustainable water future for Northern Sonoma County. That's what we need here. Thanks.
Thank you.
I didn't want to kind of continue the conversation with the council because, we don't have metering as a condition. I think, what we have stated here, this was a lot of the language that we took from our recent adopted urban water management plan that, the metering that's done here is so extensive and, we could respond to the littlest change or loss in water. And, it's definitely not the same that's going on in the unincorporated areas. So, that is something I think, it's how much do we push on that? That's really what it comes down to. And if we want to make it a condition, I would run that by the council and certainly want to get everyone's opinion on that.
I would just say it's something that I would request, but it not be a condition of approval, because I appreciate your response and how the state mandates the few of you. And so I'd accept that.
As a request.
So, yeah.
Okay. So going back to our city attorney, can we amend number 4 to list as a request?
I think it's already listed as that we encourage them.
So I guess that's you get into and is encouraging the same thing as requesting? Just get into legalese.
They don't. It's the last sort of header in the document. They aren't numbered.
Okay.
Where are you looking at numbers?
So I have
Our letter, the Russian River property owners.
Let's see, because we have the draft letter that might be it's attached in the agenda report, right?
Yep. And there's no numbers in it.
For numbers. Oh no, I just have 4 items.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm referring to there's basically those 4 points that we're making. And so number 4 would be the recognition of sub-basin interconnectivity and data-driven stewardship. And that's us right here. So,
No.
it's one of those things. This is an item that I've thought about. And I think talking to some of the commissioners who are on LAFCO, and kind of the circumstances that are just the reality of the commission. And there's the changing of some of the commissioners is coming up as well. It's going to be a tough one, and then also it comes down to what level of metering, do we ask for, down to like half an acre foot, and above, or, or every single water thing. So I think in some of the discussions, the inevitability that the metering would come in the future is kind of one of those things I was leaning into, same as you say, like a suggestion or sort of keeping that as something that we help guide and encourage. So if that's going back to our city attorney, if our number 4 section of our comment would be kind of, would you call that a recognition, like a suggestion?
Right now, it says we encourage the newborn district to embrace similar data transparency protocols.
Could we amend that to suggest?
We can amend it however the council wants.
Would how does the council?
It's
encourage? Okay. So that number 4 is good as is. I think for the other 2 points, just to knock these out, number 1's pretty crystal clear, but I also want to touch on Vice Mayor's comment about the sphere of influence and that concern, to make sure that's addressed here as well.
Yeah, I think we're leaving out a group of people if we don't include them in at least this district until they've been brought in and annexed.
Okay, it was a little hard of hearing to that.
So it sounds like the request from the vice mayor is right now we say, confirm it doesn't include the city of Cloverdale in its sphere of influence. We would just, if the council agrees, strike in its sphere of influence.
And is that something we can just add and amend?
We will just strike the words in its sphere of influence.
Okay, so we'll strike that one out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in agreement of that. And then number 2 is kind of supporting LAFCO's language that was they proposed in an amended.
Right. I think it might be more efficient. Does anyone have any other concerns?
Okay.
So it seems like we're strike out the sphere of influence, and otherwise
that's it.
I don't hear anything. We still need to take public comment, but the council is okay with the letter.
Okay. Sounds good.
Still need the public.
Do we have any public comment on this?
Thank you. My name is Mike Martini. I've been working with the Russian River property owners to bring this thing forward. Thank you for having the discussion. It is important, and I appreciate that you recognize the importance of it. I especially recognize the conversation where you're emphasizing partnership. This is about partnership and not control. I think it is clear that there are no water rights threatened by the creation of the district. Those water rights are granted by the state of California, and they cannot be changed. The other thing, however, and on your issue of partnership, without the district in Alexander Valley, there really is nobody to partner with on a lot of these issues. Similarly, Sonoma County Water has no one that they can partner with in order to move forward. We have seen what has happened when people are not allowed to sit at the table. The two-basin solution that was pushed through is a great example of not letting people participate in the process. That is the key part that's taking place here, is you're giving voice to the people who are going to be impacted. There is going to be a cost. We don't know what that cost is. It's a magic box of costs with the decommissioning of the Potter Valley project. There is going to be a cost for some level of ongoing diversion. We don't know exactly how much diversion that's going to be. Somebody's going to have to pick up the tab for that. And without an organization of the users of the water, there's no easy path forward. That's the critical reason to move this thing forward. And in the absence of doing anything, it's a mess. Reliable, sustainable water throughout this region is critical not only to Cloverdale, not only to Healdsburg, but to all of the residents who are in the unincorporated areas. This gives voice to a lot of those people. And those people are sincere in that they want the partnership. They want to work. That's one of the reasons we're here today. I met with the Rains Creek Water District earlier today. We have met with Healdsburg City Council members, and we made presentations to them. This is about partnership and not about control. Look forward to working, with you guys in moving forward to sustainable, reliable water supply for this part of the county.
Yes, it's on. My name is Lariva Miles, and I haven't been going to city council meetings or planning commission meetings for a while. And I haven't heard one thing here tonight, which I'd like to hopefully get cleared up. First of all, I'd just like to say I am not on either side of the Esmeralda project coming up, but I guess this is a question for the city attorney, the city council, the planning commission, and that is, does the city's negotiations with the Esmeralda project have anything to do with an effect that the city of Cloverdale will have on being able to join this water district? I mean, that's kind of like an unspoken kind of question we don't know anything about at this point.
So Esmeralda exists now within the city's boundaries. So it is not part of this area, and this Cloverdale would not be part of this proposed water district. So they would continue to be part of the city and not within this water district.
So that will have no effect on whether or not these other partners decide to agree to our participation in this water district?
We are not participating in the water district. We are not part of the water district or the proposed. We might partner with them in the future on the water sharing program or a groundwater sustainability agency. I can't imagine, like, the city includes who the city includes, and they're I can't speak to them about what they may want to do, but I doubt that what happens in the city will have a big impact. They are important to, either way, we're going to have 9,000 plus residents here, maybe 9,000 plus a few hundred more. But either way, that's going to be a partner they're going to have to talk with.
So that's not going to have any effect on water sharing or any of the things that Councilmember Marquez is talking about right now?
I would say, Esmeralda or any other proposed development that's already within our city limits, whether we're 9,000 residents or 11,000, we're still our municipality. The Alexander Valley Water District is a water district that's forming in the unincorporated areas that we wouldn't be a part of that water district.
Okay.
So some of the potentialities is that we share a water sub-basin. So, we're pulling from the same pool. So I think there's good reason for us to participate in the process of them proposing their water district. And also the potentiality in the future that we can partner on other things. A groundwater sustainability agency is not a requirement at this time. So there's no rush to form it, but it probably is an inevitable situation as well. So,
but we're all really pulling from the same water resources. And if Cloverdale decides to increase its population by all the development, that will have some effect on how
So
our
what I would say is, like was mentioned earlier, when a curtailment comes, residential use is the highest priority. The curtailment is based on a gallon per person per day. So to the extent a development is adding water, it is adding more water for the city in that curtailment. It remains the same per person, but it becomes even more important to, for other interested parties to negotiate with the city, because the more residents there are in the city, the more water it's going to have for minimum life and safety issues. So and by no means am I saying this is anywhere in the plans or anything, but if we suddenly were 50,000 people, that's 50,000 people at whatever the allotment is per gallons per day that need to be taken care of first before it would go to lower priorities like agriculture.
Okay, thank you. I just appreciate you taking me through that, just because I thought when you're adding that many people to who will be using Cloverdale's water supply, that it might come into play maybe somewhere down the road, but.
I think any bit of growth is always a factor on how we manage our sub-basin.
Okay, thank you.
See it as that. Thanks, Olivia.
Any other public comment?
Hi, my name is Bob Cooley. Our family's been around Cloverdale since the 1850s, and we own and run a vineyard that I'm the family representative for just north of town in Oat Valley. And I've been involved with everybody back here tonight, and thank you so much for looking at this. And it's like Mike says, we need a seat at the table. Thank you.
Any other public comment on this? Okay, let's bring it back to council. Alex, do we need a motion to, we've adjusted the letter. Let me get
So it
this
would be a
correct.
motion to approve the letter
With the adjustment.
with the adjustment and
Striking.
authorizing Councilmember Marquez to represent the city based on this letter at a LAFCO meeting.
Okay, I have a motion. Anyone?
I'd like to make a motion to move approval of this letter forward.
A second.
And just to confirm, the motion includes authorizing Councilmember Marquez to speak on it in the future.
Do I have a second on this?
Second.
All right, let's take it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you all for that discussion.
Thank you guys for coming for that.
All right, let's move into H2. Consider a resolution approving Second Amendment to an at-will employment agreement for City Manager Kevin Thompson to provide salary increase.
Good evening again, Council. This item is for a proposed salary increase for the city manager. The council conducted a evaluation of the city manager earlier in June and authorized changes based on that. As a whole, determined that the city manager's performance was good and was valuable, and authorized a change in the salary for the city manager. His current salary is $209,012 and some change. The proposed increase involves two parts. First, there is a equity adjustment, and then on top of that, based on his performance, on top of that, a 3% cost of living increase, which is normal. The exact amount can change year to year, but is pretty typical. So that would bring total compensation to $238,371. That would be, as is the city's practice, retroactive to July 1st of this year. So with that, happy to take any questions that the council may have.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution.
We need a public.
Do we have any public comment on this item? Okay, go ahead.
Kevin, thank you for the hard work you put in. You've kicked butt for the city. You took a chance. We took a chance. You took a lower rate of pay for a long time to say, I dare you to hire me, and we did. And you have done nothing but been stellar. So we appreciate you, and you've earned every penny here, and I can't wait to do it.
So just mentioning to City Manager Thompson, I appreciate since the review, the work that we've been doing, and I hope that we can keep that up for the future. And I just want to mention that I will be abstaining from this vote.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution by title only, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale approving Second Amendment to at-will employment agreement with City Manager Kevin Thompson to provide an increase in salary.
Second.
Aye.
No.
4-1.
Well, so just for the record, I think it was 3 council members, Marquez, Vice Mayor, Councilmember Lasky, Vice Mayor Lands, and the mayor voting in favor. A no from Councilmember Morgenstern, and then Councilmember Marquez abstained.
Consider an ordinance amending Cloverdale Municipal Code Section 2.04.010 compensation.
Good evening, Mayor. Me again. This is a proposed ordinance based on direction from the council of the previous meeting to bring back an item to decrease the council member salary. In 2024, the council increased council member salary to $950 a month. That's the maximum allowed at the time by state law for a city of our size. Cities, we have the right to increase that amount based on rules and state law. We also have the ability to decrease it to whatever amount the council might want. There's not a proposed, there was in the direction, there wasn't direction given on a specific amount, so that is blank in the ordinance. If the council wants to move forward, they'll need to select an amount and specify that as part of the motion. Under state law, any change in a council member's salary, up or down, can't take effect until there's been a new term started for someone on the city council. So essentially, until the next city council election. All council members receive it, even if they're existing council members. So that means if we adopt this today, it wouldn't take effect until after the 2026 election. It would take effect essentially in January 1st. If the council waited until January 1st to adopt this, that new council, since it would be a new council, it wouldn't be able to take effect until January 1st, 2028. So with that, happy to answer any questions the council may have.
So just want to preface this conversation that I just don't think the timing on this is very good. Having to do that there's 3 positions up on the council. I don't want to discourage anybody from running for city council. We have nomination period open right now. And so with that said, I just want to give a little background on the circumstance or the criteria of where the allowable increase came from in the past. So the allowable increase from $300 to $950 per month for city council members in California is the result of SB 329. Which was from 2023. This took effect on January 1st, 2024. It was the first major update to the compensation limits for general law cities in 40 years. The maximum of $300 was set in 1984. The legislation found that the low compensation made it difficult for working people, parents, and lower income residents to serve on city councils. And also just want to read a couple paragraphs from our newly adopted City of Cloverdale governance manual. And inside the governance manual, it has a mission, vision, and values. A public-facing municipal mission statement is more than symbolic. It's a foundational element of good governance that articulates what Cloverdale's leadership, including the city council and senior staff, strives to accomplish while reflecting the community's local character and shared values. This strategic clarity forms the basis for setting goals, evaluating performance. Highlighted is guiding budget decisions and considering new programs. The city's mission, vision, and values should serve as a touchstone for all governance decisions. Council members and staff are encouraged to ask, does this action advance our mission? Are we remaining true to our core values and long-term vision? Are we serving the community equitably? I want to repeat that. Are we serving the community equitably, transparently, and effectively? And so under the mission, vision, and values, the vision states to be a healthy, diverse, and family-centered community that honors its heritage while embracing sustainable growth and opportunity. So our vision is to be diverse. It has this in our adopted governance manual values. Vision. Okay. Excellence, equity, efficiency, integrity, innovation, transparency, and sustainability. We act with integrity, communicate openly, seek creative solutions, support a thriving community, use resources responsibly, work towards equality, and strive for equality and professionalism in all we do. So really just reading that to make sure that whatever decision that we make tonight reflects our mission and vision and values. I think that lowering this, the stipend per month really might make some people who are considering running for city council choose not to. I think it really enables people who might have a pension or be retired and well off more in a position to run, and that really limits the diversity and equity that we should strive for. And that's my question, to consider that, and how does lowering this align with our mission, vision, and values?
I am in favor of maintaining our city council stipend at $950 per month. As we manage our newly approved $28.7 million two-year budget, we must distinguish between meaningful fiscal discipline and counterproductive cost cutting. Let us look strictly at the numbers. At $950 a month per council member, the total cost for all 5 of us sits at $57,000 annually. This equals a mere 0.2% of our overall $28.7 million spending plan and just 0.4% of our $12.8 million general fund. Eliminating or slashing this stipend will not solve our projected $2 million budget gap. However, it will fundamentally compromise our governance. This stipend is a necessary investment that ensures we can provide robust professional oversight of our city's multi-million-dollar operations. The proposed 2025 to 2026 budget maintains our current response to our voters, and cutting our representation threatens that exact standard of community service. If we reduce this compensation, we price out working-class residents and young professionals, leaving this body accessible only to retirees or the wealthy. True fiscal responsibility means providing the oversight of our taxpayers' money. It does not mean making token budget cuts that erode our representative democracy. I urge everybody up here on the dais to maintain the $950 stipend. And here's a list of small cities that either get paid $950 per month on their city councils, or they will be implementing the $950 a month. Healdsburg, Sebastopol, Fort Bragg, Corte Madera, Larkspur, Mill Valley, and San Anselmo. And also, our medical payments, I get my medical through the city, have gone up this year, but our deductible has also gone up. So in a way, we'll be making even less money because our medical is paid out of what we receive. I think it is a matter of respect for city leaders, and that it's important to respect city leaders. So that's my thought on that. And I think if we go down to less money, it will restrict the candidate pool to only the retired or independently well off. And I think that's an issue. I think it would be better to leave it as is and hopefully see some more diversity up here. So that's my opinion.
As far as the stipend goes, and for what we do here on the dais, we are more than public servants. We are the voice and the face of Cloverdale. I don't believe that you should look for a stipend to enrich your community or try to enrich yourself, because the stipend at either level really doesn't cover the time that we put in. Or, you know, some people put in more time, some people put in what time they can. But I don't believe if you're running for public office, you should be doing it for the stipend, the money. I just don't think that there's enough money involved to really reflect what we do up here. I would say that this might be premature at this stage, based on, like you say, there's 3 seats coming open, maybe if we did this in December, would it take place in January?
The council would need to adopt this before
Change?
change.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to address is the timing. The timing is because we started this 2 years ago on our 2-year budget. I was against the raise back then. Just because you can do it doesn't mean it's what's best for our community. I respected the prior council's wishes to have this for 2 years, and that is why I brought it up at our 2026 budget hearing. The timing is about respect for the people that chose that made that decision in 2024. So right now is why I'm bringing it up. We are the smallest city in the county, yet we have the highest pay. The ones that were named tonight, most of those have budget deficits. They are frivolously spending, and this is one of the items that they are doing it on. When we sat in our budget hearing, we talked about $5,000 to this nonprofit, $10,000 to this nonprofit that we didn't fund because we didn't have the money. Yet, if we lower our own little rates here, we could have up to $54,000 to put towards other groups to help out our community instead of helping ourselves in our pockets. Our staff is 10 to 15% under the county average, yet we're the highest paid in the county for the council. That's not fair. That's not equitable. Our community doesn't strive to support the council. Our council supports the community. And that is what I am up here for. It's not about the dollar amount. It's about being a public servant and doing what is best. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, you can make decisions and support your community. So that is why I wanted this done in the budget hearing. That is why I wanted this on the agenda now. And that is why when it's time, I'm going to ask for the same as Petaluma, which is not listed on our agenda report, which I believe is $5 per meeting.
When it comes to this, and thank you for reading our governor's manual and everybody's comments up here, and I look at Hillsburg, 950, wealthiest city down there, they're getting 950. Windsor, 443, Cotati, 300, Sebastopol, 300, with a possible increase to 950, and then Sonoma, very wealthy, 300. So, we sit up here and we say this is going to go against all the guys that have a pension or all the guys that are retired. Guess what? I busted my ass for 30 years to get that pension and to be retired. And you think it came easy for me? You're crazy. Wish my father was around to explain to you how much I busted my ass as a kid. So save your crap when it comes to that. The bottom line is I 100% agree. And I kick around this of we're all holding our hands out coming up here in the last few meetings of we need to fund this, fund this, fund this. I'm on the exact same song sheet here of I'm doing this for Cloverdale. You know why? Because I live in Cloverdale. I enjoy Cloverdale. I love Cloverdale. I'm doing this for Cloverdale. And if I can fund a food pantry, but we don't have the money in the budget to do it, but it's a request, and I can knock a little bit out of my pocket to fund them, then guess what? I'm taking care of Cloverdale. That's what I'm doing it for. So anyway, just gets a little fired up when it's like, oh, it's geared towards all the rich white guys, and they have time to do this. And that's 100% BS. It's the white guys or it's the guys up here that are doing everything they can to make sure Cloverdale makes it through. That's what we're trying to do up here.
I have a comment to make. All of the people here that think that their pay should go into the city instead, they've had 2 years to donate their pay into the city. They could still donate their pay into the city. But who are you to tell us after 4 people voted to bring it up to $950 that we're supposed to go back to what the pay was like in 1984. And you just mentioned Sebastopol. Sebastopol, Alex Mugg, you're the attorney for Sebastopol. Didn't they already vote to go up to $950?
They did when the staff report was written. When the staff report was written and hadn't been approved yet. That's why it says pending. But since publication, they did vote to approve that.
It was in the if, it was in the paper, that's gone up to 950. So for anyone who wants to sit here and act like Sebastopol's not getting that, and we're the poorest city, but we're getting the most money, that's not even true. Sebastopol's poorer than Cloverdale.
What's the deficit that Sebastopol is looking at this year? Do you know it off the top of your head, approximately? I believe it was around 11 million.
No, it's less than $1 million. I don't know off the top.
And Alex Mugg, maybe you could qualify this. I think Sebastopol gets way better medical benefits than we do. They don't even pay into them.
I can't speak to what their benefits are. Sorry.
So
Anyone could Google it.
my suggestion to the council would be to give an option to opt out. I would like to see council members who do not want to receive the 950 stipend given an option to opt out. And I think that would be a good way to keep the unity. I think it would be in a line with our mission, vision, and values, that those council members that would like to put the money back into the community, I think they can opt out to do that. I'll speak from my own experience. The last 2 years that I've been on council, I've spent a lot of time, extra time. I do have a business that I take a lot of days off from. I work late at night. What I've been able to do with that extra time is, one of the examples is the amount of time I spent in discussions with the Alexander Valley Water District proposal this month. In the last month, I took a lot of time going to board meetings during the middle of the day, which otherwise I would not be able to do with just that little extra money. Is money that I'm using just to survive. Instead of going to work and saving extra money, I'm making those sacrifices, but that little extra money helps somebody work a little less and sacrifice a lot more of time to accomplish things. And those are, bringing hikes and all the extra things that I've gone to spend time meeting people in the county that are not costing our city money. Getting funding for the food pantry was $10,000 worth of funding because I'm going out and building relationships with our supervisor and other folks in the county. So there's a lot that a council member can accomplish when given that opportunity and that little extra flexibility. Nobody's padding their pockets with an extra $650 a month. So, I would like to do what I think is in line with our governance manual, and that is to create an option that council members can opt out, and we still keep the ability that somebody who is young and works, and maybe they have a little flexibility with their job, will be able to be on city council, where otherwise that might be a deal breaker for them. And so that's why a lot of the councils have opted to raise up their stipend. And Petaluma is not a general law city, if I'm not mistaken. So their circumstances, they would have to bring it to the voters. So that they're kind of stuck with what that is unless they go that route. So I think the equitable thing, keep some unity amongst this council, so we can all kind of do the city business that we need to, and not like build animosity towards one another. Is keep the stipend at $950, and let's give an option for those who would like to opt out.
I agree with that 100%, and I think we really need diversity. The mayor, I know, did really work his butt off his whole life. I have Lyme disease. I am disabled. I've had parts of my life where I've had such horrific symptoms, I couldn't work at all. It's hard to get legal disability, and I managed to do that because I was so sick for years. So do we want to make it so if you were robustly healthy and worked your whole life, then you could afford to be up here? Or do we want to make it so we have different voices up here in diversity? So I don't want to make it so that somebody who's disabled, or somebody that's a student, or somebody that needs to pay a babysitter can't be up here. I'm all for diversity up here, and I think the more people that we can get up here with different opinions, the better the city council will be.
Do we have any public comment on this?
Good evening again. My name is Lariva Miles. I moved up here from the Bay Area 16 years ago, and I just checked the median incomes from the Bay Area, Sonoma County, and Cloverdale. So right now, the median average, and median is half above and half below, for the San Francisco Bay Area is $137,100. Probably a lot more down in Silicon Valley, a lot fewer in other counties. When I look at Sonoma County, the median household income is $104,674. I just looked all these figures up today. And then when I went to Cloverdale, the median income is $117,177. So there are a lot of people who are not making that amount, and a lot of people who are probably making considerably more. And I'm happy to say that our city manager is being compensated for all the hard work that he does. So he's one of those people who's above that amount. But when I came here, I checked out all the prices 16 years ago, and it was definitely more expensive to come and live here. Everything from medical care to housing and everything like that, because this is really considered the golden mean of retirement. People want to retire here because it's beautiful, you've got great food, great people, country living. So when I came up here, I was not anywhere at the point where I could retire, and I didn't want to. So when I first came to Cloverdale, I volunteered for a lot of different organizations because they didn't have the money to pay me. And then I got a job working to produce the Fiddle Festival one year, where the Historical Society paid me to produce it. I got a lot more people to come regionally. And then at the production meeting at the end, all the members on the board looked at what I was paid and got really upset because they felt like I should have donated my time for free. Up here in Cloverdale, there's this sense of if you do anything for Cloverdale, you should do it on a volunteer basis. So that's why I don't work in Cloverdale, is because I had to basically create my own jobs, but I did want to participate in Cloverdale's governance. So for 6 years, I came to all the city council meetings. I almost became a planning commissioner, but I could not do that because of the time it would take, in addition to all the other jobs that I was going to have in order to be able to make a living. And I've just given you the figures on how much it costs to live here. And I'm in real estate, so I know how much houses cost. I know how much it costs. So I am just here to say that I am really supporting Councilmember Marquez and Morgenstein, saying if you want diversity and more people to be up here, I would suggest you leave it at 950 and let other members who can opt out, opt out. I think it's going to be really important. In the 6 years that I was here, there were not very many members of the Latino community here at all in representation. And at one point, when one of the attendees saw that I was speaking before council, they said, "Can you go up and talk for me? Will you tell them what I would like to say, because I don't feel comfortable saying that." All I'm saying is that I think that there should be an option for somebody to make this a part of what they want to offer to Cloverdale, and 950 would have made a difference to me at the time that I wanted to be on the council or the planning commission. And I hope, especially with us transitioning to voting in some new members, as well as this district voting plan that you're going to be doing, I think that you all have a really big responsibility. And last time I checked, the agendas are still really huge, and you have to do a lot of work to be able to be represented on that board. And I feel that anyone who takes on that responsibility should be compensated at the most that they can to represent this city. I know I would like to be, because I give 120% to anything I put my time and energy into, and I know you all do too. So I just think that it would be nice to have a choice. If I ever decide I want to go back to city council meeting, $950 is not going to make or break me, hopefully at that point, but for a lot of other people, it can make the difference between them saying, yes, I want to participate, I want my voice to be heard, and not doing that. So I would encourage you to vote yes on keeping it at 950, and for those who don't want to, being able to say, no, I'm going to put that back in the pot and let that money be donated to other causes in Cloverdale. Thank you.
I have another comment. Gus, oh, sorry.
Bob Cox, resident of Cloverdale, past council member. When I first got involved in the government here in Cloverdale, it was on the planning commission. We got $30 a month. I'm not sure what it is now, probably not much more than that. I was fortunate enough to get on the city council. It went up to $300 a month. I thought that was pretty good. I'm a retired person, not a wealthy person at all. I could use the $900 a month, but I didn't do it for the money. I did it because I could contribute to my city. We were getting, as I say, $300 a month, and I think it was 2014, 2015 that before the council was to bump from 300 to 550, and my eyes bugged out. I did a little research before we took a vote on it. There was no other city in the whole county that was even close to that. In fact, all of the cities except Petaluma was at $300 a month. The only kind of difference was the mayor of Santa Rosa got a little bit more because it was a little bit more extensive job for him. But otherwise, Petaluma, not being a general law city, they got $10 a meeting. So when Cloverdale bumped it to $550, which damn near doubled the pay, the other cities didn't follow along. They pretty much stayed where they were. And then when the council members, some of you currently, when you bumped it up to 950 something, I thought, whoa, what's going on here? Again, the other cities in the county didn't follow suit. I think that's a little bit high. It's nice money, and I don't begrudge anybody that wants to take that money. But I'm not sure that one of the smallest cities in the county gets more than any of the other cities. So show it to me. When I was on the council, I did a whole lot of travel for the city, unreimbursed. I was in LA, I was in Pasadena, I was in Sacramento twice a month. None of that was reimbursed. It's reimbursable, of course. But I did it because I'm doing it for my city, not for the money. So I applaud you. We're going to hold tight on what you're deciding, but go for it. Thank you.
Let's see if we have any other public comment. Okay, I'm seeing none. Bring it back up. You have a comment?
Yes, when Gus Walter was on the council, he voted that it should go up to 950. And what he said, because somebody kept saying, well, actually the vice mayor kept saying, oh, I don't want to see people sitting up here that are just there for the money. And Gus said, I don't think any of us are up here just for the money. But I think if you are up here, you need to be compensated for your time. And we don't just go to city council meetings. Tomorrow, I'm going to Petaluma for Ag and Open Space Regional meetings. We go all over the county for different meetings. So you may just see us here, but that doesn't mean we just show up for 2 meetings a month here in Cloverdale. So, we definitely put our heart and our soul into this. And if somebody really thinks that it's too much money, then donate it to the city. And you've had 2 years to do so and have not done so.
One comment on that. I know we did light up the trees for the community. That was $300 each, so there went some money right there. Each parade we've done, there's 120 each for candy. That's what I've spent, so I'm $240 into that. So, yeah, I do take this 950 and I donate a lot of it back to the city. So you can say, I'm not coming up and writing a check to the city, but guess what? I'm doing a lot for the city. Have I come down and bought pizzas for the crew? Yeah. So anyway, there it is. There's what I'm doing. So if you don't think we're donating our money back, and we're all up here traveling around. We're going to Petaluma. We're going to board meetings down in Healdsburg. We're going all over the place. So, and also back to we can opt out and all that. Then are we working as council as a whole up here? No, council should be working together as a whole. So we're just going to do the perceived 3 rich white guys up here just going to donate their money back. Come on, are we going to work as a council as a whole, or are we going to make a solid decision for everybody up here? Obviously, the comments are, let's make it equitable. What do we get? We're going to district elections up here. Who knows if we're even going to have people in there? Would 950 be great for them? Absolutely, it would. Are there going to be people in those districts, hopefully, that are coming up here to advance Cloverdale through? I would hope so, because that's what we're here for, to make these decisions. So the opt-out, totally not agreeing with that at all. We're either working as a council as a whole or we're not. So there you go.
Well, if you want the council to work as a whole, then why is it always like you guys decide and collude even before you get here and all vote together? So that's my point.
So I guess this conversation should be, there's a gap between 300 and 950. Does anybody propose, it'd be good to discuss some proposals before anyone rushes to make a motion. I would definitely like to see that. This is a big decision. I think that it certainly is very, very divisive to kind of not give everyone an option. So I don't think it's a uniting thing to lower this stipend, especially during an election coming up. I can grandstand like everyone else and say how much I volunteer. I don't get paid to volunteer. I'm president of the Kiwanis Club. Do I get paid for that? I don't get paid. I don't turn in my gas receipts. Whoop-de-doo. Great. Does that make me some crowned public servant? It's like, we put in the work because we want to put in the work. When we could all say that, but what you're doing by not giving the option for somebody to be slightly compensated is you're eliminating an option for diversity. And I would say to Bob Cox, when you were on the council, there wasn't much diversity back then. So, it wasn't, I think things have changed. We haven't had much diversity even up to this point in this city. And if we want to abide by the mission, vision, and values that we adopted, then make things equitable for others to participate. I'm very proud to have a woman on our dais in Councilmember Morgenstern. It's one of those things to change this and say, like, that doesn't matter, okay? To say diversity doesn't matter, or somebody like, you have to struggle with things, and this is allowing somebody to participate, and that doesn't matter. That's disgusting, okay? So take the option to opt out if you so choose, but don't put this on the next council. There's a perception in this town that the city council is run by a clique. You could look up the definition of clique, anyone, and please tell me that that's not the case, okay? So if you want to proceed with that perception so you can continue to have this town run by a clique, this is one way to do it, okay? To have your buddies run for council as well who might have a retirement or be wealthy and retired, that's one way to continue to have this town run by a clique, okay? You want to abide by mission, vision, and values to bring some diversity in this town. Keep it as is. Take the option to opt out.
I agree 100%.
Hey, Alex.
Diversity up here.
Hey, Alex, Can we do a quick explanation? I know you mentioned it to the vice mayor here on when all of these would take effect and how things work on that, just so the public can hear it also.
Yeah, so it would take effect if it was voted on today, there'd be a second reading at the next meeting. Assuming that was adopted at that meeting, it would take effect after the council changes. So on January 1st for the month of January, 2026.
Okay. Gotcha.
I really don't think that's fair to the new 3 people. We have no idea who they'll be. Nobody has a crystal ball who will be up here, and we're already deciding their salary for them. Why not let them decide it themselves?
Well, I would say if we're going to throw a number out there, and like you say, at the last council meeting, we had a lot of nonprofits come up asking for more money that wasn't allotted in the budget. I'd say we get compensation at $300 like Sonoma and Cotati.
I would agree. With all the allegations being thrown around here, I think it's time to just put an end to this, because if we're going to be sitting here called names and say we're in cliques and things like that that run the city, it's going to go in a bad direction or worse than what it already is. And I'm glad the city attorney is here to hear all of this. So with that, I would like to make a motion. I think this is how I have to do this, correct? By title only, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Cloverdale, amending Chapter 2.04.010, compensation for council members of the Cloverdale Municipal Code. And the sum that I would do is $300. So I'd be reducing our sum by $650.
I second.
To a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Definite no.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 3-2.
I didn't take a vote. So if you want to, I would vote no on that, but you counted my vote before I voted.
We brought it to a vote.
Yeah, you brought it for a vote. You asked for ayes. You never asked for noes. Can we retake that vote?
Yeah, let's retake the vote.
Okay, let's retake the vote then.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nope.
No.
So Councilmember Morgenstern and Councilmember Marquez are no. The remaining Councilmember Lasky, Vice Mayor Lands, Mayor are voting yes.
Okay. Monday, June 29th, went to the Russian River property owners scoping meeting. That was sort of beginning the conversation that we ended up getting to a good position tonight. Tuesday, June 30th, met with Tom Schwedhelm. He's a candidate for Sonoma County 4th District Supervisor. Saturday, July 4th, participated in the 4th of July parade. Co-announced the parade with Monique Mo Hernandez of Mo's Eagles Nest Deli. Want to give a shout out to Ken Braziel. He's the Kengineer. He did a great job on sound. Really appreciate all his help. Tuesday, July 7th, I met with Charlie Schneider of CalTrout, discussed possible advocacy for the city of Cloverdale. We might not agree with a lot of the things that CalTrout is advocating for, but the one thing that we can agree on is that Cloverdale's water resiliency is a benefit to them and us. So there's possibilities that with a proposed future agenda item that we can start getting that moving. Tuesday, July 7th, I met with Cotati Mayor Sylvia Lemus. She's a candidate for Sonoma County 2nd District Supervisor. Wednesday, July 8th, I attended the Russian River Property Owners Association board meeting. Thursday, July 9th, sat in on coffee with the mayor. That was the presenters that day were Ayalero. Want to give a shout out to Matthew Chavez. He's the interim director, and Lizette Camacho. She's a bilingual community engagement manager. Also, just want to make the correction that there was a statement made by the mayor that there was photos taken during the candidates workshop, that those photos were taken by our city clerk, Mike Maloney, and that's not true. They were taken by another city staff member, and those photos were not used to be published on our website. I don't know what they were used for, but just want to make that correction. On Thursday, July 9th, attended the Mendocino Inland Water and Power Commission, IWPC. They gave a presentation on Coyote Valley Dam General Investigation Study, and that's talking about different directions on getting the dam raised for extending the storage there. Sonoma Water also presented the new Eel Russian facility modeling analysis, and that's for the proposed NERF diversion facility. So I would recommend if folks can reach out to Mendocino Inland and Water and Power Commission, you can request a link to the Zoom meeting and a passcode and watch that meeting. It's very, very educational and keep you caught up on what's going on regionally. Monday, July 13th, it was the Russian River Property Owners Association scoping meeting. Thursday, July 16th, we attended the Zero Waste Board meeting. And just want to announce that the Cloverdale Repair Fair has been set for Saturday, March 13th, 2027. This will be our second repair fair here in Cloverdale, brought to you by Zero Waste Sonoma County and the Reuse Alliance, and that will take part again at our Cloverdale Library. Friday, July 17th, I met with local resident Ken Screechfield. He was a former employee of Sonoma Water. He was the engineer technician from 1959 to 1989, and then really discussed a lot of history around what was going on in the region, a lot of the work that was done pre-dam building of Warm Springs Dam at Lake Sonoma, and some of the work that the Army Corps of Engineers did along our river corridor. Saturday, July 25th. This is upcoming this weekend on Saturday. We're having Un Dia de Campo. This is a Spanish-guided hike in Soda Springs Ranch, our new open space, brought to you by Sonoma County Ag and Open Space. I want to thank Irma, Raquel, and Olivia for their work on getting this event brought to our city, and that will take place at 9:30. Folks will be meeting at City Park, 9:30 a.m. this Saturday. There'll be some snacks and light refreshments, and there'll be a breakout to take two different hikes in our new open space, and they'll be at couple different skill levels. So whether you're an avid hiker or you just want to take a walk on the Redwood Trail, both those options will be guided. And just want to inform everyone that the LAFCO public hearing for the reconsideration of denial of the Alexander Valley Water District formation will take place on Wednesday, August 5th. This will be at 575 Administration Drive, room 201A. This is the Sonoma County Board Chambers, and that will be Wednesday, August 5th at 2 p.m. And also the next day, Thursday, August 6th, just want to inform everyone who wants to participate in the Eel Russian Project Authority Board meeting will take place at the same location at noon to 2 o'clock. And another thing to put on everyone's radar, Friday, July 24th, the FERC scoping documents regarding the environmental impacts to the proposed decommissioning of the Potter Valley project. The due date to submit comments is July 24th, so that's this Friday. And also have been in talks with Ferber Plaza about the installation of a drop-and-go recycling pod. And so just want to mention that I did have conversations with Alan Ferber in the past about a recycling exchange at Ferber Plaza. He mentioned that existed years ago, and there was issues with vermin and bugs, and so that was my big concern, kind of dropped it at that time. Learning about this drop-and-go pod, they have one of these, a bunch of them really throughout the county, but the closest one to us is in Healdsburg. It's just north of their city hall. It's in the parking lot just north of Healdsburg City Hall, so you can check it out there. And I did have some conversations with their Public Works Director, Larry Zimmer, who informed me that they've had no problems with vermin. These units are completely sealed. They're automated, so you can drop off recycling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I put out a post today on Facebook, getting some community impact that I'll be sharing with the folks at Ferber Development. So that's what I got.
I participated in the 4th of July parade. It was wonderful, and Hector was my driver, and we had a really good time throwing candy to the children. And then afterwards, some of us gave out popsicles to the children at the plaza. Tomorrow, I am going to an Ag and Open Space meeting, but it's also a tour of Steamer Landing Park and Petaluma River Park in Petaluma. And I'll also be participating in the walk, the Ag and Open Space Soda Springs Walk this Saturday with Andreas Marquez.
Like other council members, I participated in the July 4th parade, and I'd like to give a big shout out to the Chamber of Commerce for all the work that they put in doing that. And with all the talk about the water, I did spend a weekend up at Lake Pillsbury under the stars, woke up to the elk to the left of me and to the right of me. So like Councilmember Marquez says, there's still an open FERC comment period for the public to state their pros and cons about removing the dams. And I'm a big advocate for wildlife, and no one's speaking for the elk. So when they're eating there along the Lake Pillsbury water edge, that whole herd will have to go somewhere else to get their foraging. So I'm sure, hope the public will reach out and realize what a great resource Lake Pillsbury really is. Besides water for us, it's water for wildlife.
The only thing different I'm going to mention is the city manager and I both submitted letters for the FERC scoping on behalf of Cloverdale.
And the only thing I have right here, and I'm glad you brought up the recycling, Councilmember Marquez. I also spoke to Alan prior to him passing away about recycling. And one of our big problems we had in Cloverdale was the way it's set up down there at the Cloverdale Plaza. We had a lot of, when we had quite a few of our unhoused folks in town, would actually take the cases of water from outside that were stacked outside the grocery store, walk them across the parking lot, pour the water out, and then recycle, and then go in and buy booze. So anyway, I don't know. I hope they are sealed. I hope we don't have that problem anymore, but I know it did attract a lot of folks down there and caused a lot of people to be hanging out down there, and it wasn't a good thing. That was exactly the words I got from Alan. Also, I want to thank everybody for July 4th. Chamber came in huge like they always do. They were very organized, had their the way they had the bar all set up outside. It really veered people in the right direction this year versus kind of going all over the place. We did hand out popsicles. The parade was a blast. The Chief Parker up there came back through again and that was a great idea from, I believe it was from our city clerk, Mike, to do a splash zone on request. That was a huge item, and I think that will continue on the 4th of July parade. I want to thank Councilmember Marquez, did an outstanding job up there announcing and introducing people coming through, and I think the 4th of July was a big success with the addition of Wonder Bread 5 coming down. My apologies, I was telling everybody it was Maroon 5 and everybody was super excited, so I had to apologize to them. But Wonder Bread 5, Maroon 5, whatever, yeah. Back to the coffee with the mayor. Yes, I thought Mike took the pictures. Sorry on that. There was another person that did it. What did they do with the pictures? Absolutely nothing. They deleted them. So they were going to put it in social media to see who the prospective council members were. And I hope there's still more that come in and they're not, they're going to have their picture taken if they get up here. So I hope we get folks up here that aren't scared to get their picture taken. Anyway, one big thing, one announcement that I want to have, and I just found this out from the couple of the city folks, was down here at the parks, and we talked a lot about the parks tonight, is at Vintage Meadow Parks. I call it Middle Park, whatever you want to call it, Vintage Meadow neighborhood. And also at City Park, there was rattlesnakes found underneath the play structures. So if you guys are taking your kids, your dogs, your loved ones, whoever may be over there, and they decide to go down the slide or do whatever they're doing, or let your dogs run around a little bit over there, please take the time to look under there. That is a hot spot for them. We don't want to have any accidental rattlesnake bites. I know Hector and his crew make really good passes through and check those every day. It's just a big safety thing. Along with the letter that I read tonight on putting up for disabled folks and all that at the parks, I think that's a great idea. I also think we may put up some signs on be aware of those, just like we have at Porterfield Creek and Soda Springs Creek. Other than that, that's all I got. All right, legislative reports, we have none. Okay. City manager, attorney report.
I've been working with Councilmember Marquez to figure out ways that we can reach out to the Latino community. And he informed me of a kind of an informal program occurring in Clear Lake. And I had a Zoom meeting with the city manager there. Thank you for turning me on to that. And it's one model. I think we're going to try to refine the model, but it's really sounds like it's working out pretty well. It's informal. It's great. The city manager really said it was a good, worthy cause, and he was really enjoying actually doing it. So we're going to be working on that more, and I'll report back to you as we more define the program. And so I wanted to let everyone know about that. National Night Out is August 4th, 6 to 9 in the Cloverdale Plaza. Great family event, so hopefully everyone can come out for that. And I just want to address the picture that happened at Mike's candidate forum. I asked Derek to take a picture for social media. I understand people were upset about the picture. We never used it. We deleted it. I didn't intend to cause any commotion with the picture. It was just for Mike to do one of his posts on social media, and I understand people didn't like it, so we never did that. So picture's been deleted. That's what happened there. And starting next Thursday, I'll be out for 1 week, starting Thursday the 30th.
Nothing. Okay. Council direction on future agenda items.
Got a request. One is to touch up on our water resiliency program assessment and initial project list. We've mentioned this in the past, and so the request is to accept additional solutions, expand the details of timeline and estimated cost, have staff prepare an initial prioritization for council to review and adopt. So that's our list that was attached to the WSA. So I think it would just be, right now, currently we have our timeline and estimated costs are very vague, and there's no priority. So this would be for the purpose of acquiring funding. I've talked to our regional representative, Jason Taramino, with PG&E, and I'm not going to say he said anything, but there was my perception that there was this possibility that there might be a funding opportunity, as well as having the assistance of CalTrout try to scout down some funding for us for water resiliency projects. So I think if we can get those prioritized and have them ready to go, we're not going to miss out on a funding opportunity window.
Yes, I'd like to, in the near future.
Before we move on, can we see if there's consensus from the council or what?
If I remember correctly, that list was prioritized, had rough values, and the reason they are rough values is because if you go any further, it's going to cost us a lot of money through our engineers. And so I think that the list is fine the way it sits.
Okay, I would say the prioritization here is, I don't see that on here. What I see
The list is the priorities. It's not in an order. The list is the priorities. That is what the state requested of us when I was meeting with Chuck Bonham.
I know what you're saying. I'm looking at other organizations that have been successful in acquiring funding, is that they do go through and prioritize their list and look at each option and say, this is our number one option. If we were to get some funding, some medium funding, this would be our number one option. This is what we want. This list does not say that. So I think it would be in our best interest to prioritize this list. We can have staff do a preliminary prioritization. And, if we can determine some time that we want to spend, if our timeline could be a little more defined, I'm not saying we have to have some study that's going to cost $200,000, but, near term and long term do not really give an indication of how long these would take. So I think refining that timeline a little bit, refining the estimated costs that are a little different than low, high, medium, doesn't really convey anything, quite honestly. So if we can get those two items refined and these options prioritized so we have a number one option ready to go, there's some opportunities and some windows that are going to open up. We do not want to miss out.
So you've heard the request. I think the request is to bring this back. We shouldn't discuss anything further because it's not on the agenda, but to bring the list back, have staff prioritize or at least identify a few of the top priorities there. Maybe they don't have to rank all of them, and do further analysis about costs. So is there a thumbs up or down?
If they do that, let's do it.
So there's 3 thumbs up for that.
Thank you.
Okay. I recently had the misfortune of needing to use our code enforcement department, and I really think it's on shaky ground and it's not up to snuff. And I really think we need a discussion as soon as possible of different ways we can improve it to make it, say, more legally sound. We don't need people suing the city, and getting more things done around Cloverdale to get things up to code. We have all these different ordinances, but there's RVs parked all over the street everywhere. There's boats parked on the street. There's sidewalks where people have literally planted their sidewalk and you can't walk down it. Some people use it as a patio and they put plants on it. One guy has a shade structure over his sidewalk like he owns it. And I just really think that we need to bring our code enforcement department up to snuff, and anything we could do to discuss it to try to improve things would be good, because I think there's some scary things happening with electrical cords going across the sidewalk. Somebody's going to trip and sue the city, and I think it's really alarming, and we need to take care of it. We can't just keep letting things go on the way they are.
Council consensus, thumbs up on bringing the code enforcement?
So I guess it's to have an opportunity for the council to discuss code enforcement efforts.
Thumbs up.
I personally think that's something that should go to a subcommittee first, because it's going to be a long, drawn-out conversation that's going to get us nowhere without a direction.
What do you think, subcommittee?
No. I think we need full council and everybody needs to have a voice. I think sometimes we kick things down to subcommittees, and I think it's only really fair that 5 different people are present.
3 thumbs up. Let's bring a future agenda item. Right. Anyone else?
I have one. So I would like to see if I have council support to declare an emergency regarding sediment and gravel buildup in the river. With the El Nino that is being forecasted, saying it's going to have the highest flooding and the most damage in our history, and the arundo and the brush that is growing in the riverbed, we are already not doing what state law requires us to do regarding sediment amounts and sediment removal. And it is the county that actually is the detriment and keeps us from doing it with their environmental regulations. And so I think that if we look into declaring an emergency through the city and the state, we could possibly go in and clean out our riverbed as necessary so that we don't blow out our levees and flood people's homes as we're planning to do this winter.
Just the sediment.
So the amount of sediment that comes, So the amount of sediment and it's all the rock, everything that comes down through the riverbeds, it's built up a good, probably 15 feet over the last 30 years. You look at Sulphur Creek, Big Sulphur Creek at the mouth. We had to do an emergency declaration in 2023, I believe it was, because the water was flowing so fast because the gravel is so high that it was blowing out our wells. And so up until the mid 90s, I think it was, they used to go in and skim the rock off the top of the riverbed during the summer times, and would help divert and direct the water to keep us from flooding or ruining our levees. So currently, our levees are getting blown out, our wells are getting blown out, and the county says that they want our levees to blow out and blow into the neighboring houses. The state says that's illegal. So I think that we need to really look into this, do our research, and keep from ruining people's homes and possibly killing people, and do what's right per the state and per our own city.
So this would be the discussion to see if we want to declare the emergency or not?
What I'm requesting is that we give the city manager and attorney the authorization to start looking into this and bring it back as a discussion item if it's something that's feasible.
Okay, I'm totally open to that. And so not getting into discussion, but we were dropped off a letter by one of our county infrastructure personnel with the Alexander Valley feasibility study. And so the county is working on stuff and solutions for, sort of opening up the river,
So we're definitely getting into discussion. Okay. So I would just say the direction was, the proposed direction is to bring back, I think I heard 3 people say yes.
Happy to bring that, and I can share some information with the vice mayor following the meeting.
I have that. I started that with Supervisor Gore 5.5 years ago, and then they went to Geyserville and did it there. So thank you.
All right, one quick council support. Hopefully, we've got this, Derek down there, just at one of the next upcoming meetings is to get our streets list. I know you're working on it. Kind of streets list, give us an update. I know First Street looks awesome right now. Everybody's happy to see that. And I'd like to see, get a quick little something we could possibly do this year, so we don't, with El Nino and all that coming, don't run into another 2 years of waiting to do something. I want to see some more DD money being spent where it needs to be spent. So do I have council support on that, getting a streets list here to get it definitely ratified? Okay.
Support on that.
Awesome. Let's do it. That's all I got. All right. Anything else from council? All right. We'll move into item M, adjournment at 9:50. Thank you all for showing up.